This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.
Well, we're counting down to the CMK Premier Grand Final here on Taranaki Rugby's YouTube channel. The last game on the card during an epic afternoon of finals rugby, which has brought the curtain down on a wonderful season of rugby. The Premier Final will be played between top seeds and an unbeaten side during the season, New Plymouth Old Boys, who will be playing a team that took them 4 semi-final attempts to get into the finals, Stratford Eltham, in their first finale in their short combined history. This also doubles as the first final between these two teams since the finals format started in 1983. Kia ora koutou katoa and welcome to our coverage from Yarrows Stadium this evening. The first time club rugby finals have been back here at the venue since 2019 when Spotswood United lifted the trophy. Will Johnson with the call this evening, and alongside me is Sam Fastier. And Sam, a great feel about this game coming up tonight. The two sides have been the form teams all season, with Old Boys having the slight edge after their impressive record.
They have been. Both these sides have been a cut above the rest of the competition, Will, so really looking forward to this matchup today. Should be a cracker. Old Boys have really been the competition front runners so far this season. As you say, unbeaten. Stratford Eltham, they've only lost 2 games, both of which were to Old Boys. So the first one, 22-21, so 1 point in it, and the second one, 17-5. So, yeah, both these teams will be really rearing to go.
And the weather conditions here today, well, it's been absolutely superb. There has been a slight westerly that's come over pretty much over the back of that shot there, but really nothing to affect the game. And 15 degrees, that'll drop a little bit later on. And what we have seen, Sam, with this new surface, the dew actually builds up relatively quickly.
That's right, the surface does look cracking, but as you say, Will, the dew will start to build up as the game progresses, I feel. But pretty good conditions for running rugby, and we're seeing both these sides, their outside backs, plenty of speed to burn, so I expect a lot of movement with the ball and some running rugby out there.
Just a couple of shots there of the crowd building. It's been a really, really good atmosphere today. It started at 11 o'clock, and all of the matches too have been on the number 1 ground, which is good to see. Players can play on the top ground, probably in the country.
Yeah, exactly. Slightly different to previous years, but excellent to see, and I think the players in those games will really enjoy the fact that they've had the chance to run out on the number 1. You don't get that every day, do you? So,
no.
And to have that big crowd in behind you. We saw the end of the Inglewood Stratford Eltham Colts game just earlier, and that was a nail biter to the end, and the roar of the crowd. You don't get that typically in these club games, so that was fantastic to see.
Yeah, the atmosphere's been great. And let's have a look at the last 3 games of both of these teams. Yeah, for New Plymouth Old Boys on the left-hand side, they beat Clifton in the semi-final 39-7. And the arch rivals Tukapa 34-12, that was a good win there. And they smashed Southern 71-6 at Vogeltown Park in Stratford Eltham. They had Southern back-to-back.
Yeah, Southern back-to-back, very similar results, both of them, and similar margins to Old Boys in the semi as well, with a 36-7 win over Southern and a tight one down against Tukapa at 32-20. So both these sides, as you'd expect, coming in with some strong form to today's final.
Yeah, some impressive results there, particularly on the left-hand side with your Plymouth Old Boys unbeaten record. And as you said, Sam, Stratford Eltham only lost those 2 games against the opponents tonight. And the points table throughout the regular season, New Plymouth Old Boys on top there, 14 from 14, 51 points. Stratford Eltham with those 2 losses. And 3, 4 and 5 relatively close during the season. It's been sort of chopping and changing during the year. And Coastal, Inglewood and Spotswood United at the bottom there. Unfortunately for Spotswood, didn't pick up a win, but I'm sure a win for them isn't too far away. So you could probably throw a blanket over that middle section, particularly later on in the season, couldn't we?
Yeah, that's right. There's probably 3 tiers if you look at it. Old Boys and Stratford Eltham up the top there. That middle placings, 3rd to 6th, really jostled throughout the season. And Inglewood and Spotswood just sort of bringing up the rear as it played out this year.
Well, we'll take a look at the teams now, starting with the top seeds here. New Plymouth Old Boys, they have just been incredible. Head coach Michael Carr has had a luxury of naming an unchanged starting 15 ahead of the final tonight, with only 1 change on the bench as they beat Clifton 39-7 in the semi-final at Vogeltown Park. In the front row, it will be Mitch O'Neill, JJ Porkai and Toby Burkett. The locks, Jackson Morgan and Canadian native Callum Botchar, Joel Williamson, Michael Loft and Rowan Slater. The 6, 7 and 8's a very good loose full trio too. And moving towards the backs for New Plymouth Old Boys, And it's a good combination that's been working really, really well this year. Sean Waite in his 100th game for New Plymouth Old Boys. He'll be up against or up with Brayton Northcote Hill at 10. There's experience on the wing with Cody Ray and Mason Millam, Adam Smith at fullback, and Daniel Waite, who will play his last game before going to Japan. He is the captain of the side, and Josh Thompson at 13. Good combinations all round there for New Plymouth Old Boys. And to the reserves, hooker Bradley Slater takes his place on the bench. Josh Dowsing is the only addition to the side this weekend after he missed the semi-final. Lawrence, Ford, Lilly, Parker and Murfitt round out the playing 22 for Old Boys, and it will be their first finals appearance since playing Coastal in 2019, where they claimed their 17th title.
Moving on to the Stratford Eltham lineup now. In the front row, we've got Jordan McFarlane alongside Harry Hansen and Alex Mitchell. All players have been involved in the Taranaki Academy at various points, so a strong and stable front row. In the lock pairing, we've got 100-game veteran Matthew Kissick alongside William Butler. It's the loose forward trio, which is pretty strong for the Stratford Eltham side. Scott Jury and Himopo Cunningham both having experience with the Taranaki side, and Dale Bailey will be looking to fetch plenty of ball at the breakdown. Moving on to the backs, Leone Nawai and Rocky Olsen will look to spark the attack from the inside backs. Nawai, of course, playing for Fijian Drua earlier this year, and Olsen playing in his 50th game for Stratford, so he'll be looking to make it a memorable occasion for that one. It's a safe pair of hands in the midfield with Nathan Clough alongside Jordan Masters, and the back three, well, it's an explosive one. All of these guys have scored plenty of tries. Ratu and Nabuka, both 14 and 16 tries in the competition respectively, and Adam Lennox, of course, Taranaki experience and explosive in that number 15 position. Moving on to the reserves, Trent Rowlands, Aaron Tosland, Hamish Walker will add a bit of height in the locking cover, Campbell Moore, Cody Grayling, Chase Bailey and Brendan Coop, potentially a surprise omission given he scored 6 tries. He did a Mark Ellis earlier in the season, 6 tries against Spotswood I think it was, so he'll add plenty of pace from the bench in their outside back cover.
Yeah, and one thing that's a real standout tonight is that both teams at full strength effectively, and Old Boys in particular, they haven't really relied on their Super Rugby players. They've relied on those club guys to get the job done during the season. And Stratford Eltham, no Super Rugby players have played during the year, but 6 Taranaki players in that side. They've been sort of in and out during the year, but some players that we've seen playing all well during the year, and that's good to see tonight. We're hopefully going to expect a free-flowing game of footy this afternoon.
That's right, going through the sides, they're both littered with guys with NPC experience, which is fantastic to see, but also, as we see Rocky Olsen there in his 50th game leading Stratford out, he's been their real playmaker and sparked the attack for the Stratford Eltham side.
And 50th consecutive matches too, and you don't generally see that, particularly with a club growing players and so forth, but that's great to see for Rocky.
Durable player, obviously.
Yeah. And we'll no doubt see New Plymouth Old Boys coming out very shortly too. There's another milestone which we touched on when we introduced the teams, and they're obviously out really early, Stratford Eltham in their red, white and black hoops. A long time between drinks. Stratford by themselves 19 titles, the last in 1971. Eltham 9 titles, the last in 91. And they also won it the year before that too. But Stratford Eltham, no titles as a combined club, and could tonight be their night. There's Daniel Waite in his last game, leads out his side, and just behind him is Sean Waite too, in his 100th game for the Whites, and he'll no doubt look to express himself tonight. Experienced players amongst both of these sides, and a really good atmosphere building here. A couple of thousand people on the west stand right down in front of us as the reserves make their way to the bench.
Yeah, great crowd in attendance here, Will, which is good to see that atmosphere building nicely. Slightly different this year, of course, with the 5 o'clock start and played under lights, which adds a bit more atmosphere to it as well, I feel.
A bit more spark and something a bit different. As there is the referee, Cam Stone, in his 4th consecutive final, 5th overall, Taranaki's number 2 ranked referee, and his assistants are Warwick Lemert and Rowan Gladding. Rowan on the final last year as well. with Cam. And it will be Brayton Northcote Hill to kick off. The climax of the season is here. A year's worth of rugby is on the line. Started in April. New Plymouth Old Boys in white. They take on Stratford Eltham in their famous red, white and black hoops. Great anticipation around this game. And Stone says, yep, let's get this game underway. Northcote Hill to kick off. And it falls into the hands of Scott Jury, his first touch of the evening as the lights start to take effect here at Yarrows Stadium. There is Nawai to Olsen, moving the ball to Lennox, and he bangs it downfield. And Testy under the lights here on that far side of the field. It's Northcote Hill making his break over the 10-metre line. Lines up Millam on that far side. It has to be Himopo Cunningham to make the tackle. But a good run here for New Plymouth Old Boys, and they're up towards the 22. Number 5 is Botcha. He loses it. And Lennox to tidy up at the back inside his 22. Adam Smith going back, but the touchline wins the race. A good clearance kick there from Stratford Eltham.
It was a pretty probing run there by Brayton Northcote Hill. He's been one of the form players of the CMK Chartered Accountants Premier competition, and really sort of making his mark and putting a stamp early on this battle between these two sides. And a nice little clearance there by Adam Lennox, showing us why he's up and around those professional ranks.
Cam Stone just getting a little bit of attention here. I think just a bit of tape on the radio headpiece that can bobble around a little bit. Nathan Coombs, the physio for New Plymouth Old Boys, just applying that tape on there. And I think he's okay, ready to go. So the first line out of the evening, it will be JJ Porkai to throw, formerly out of New Plymouth Boys High School's first 15. First set piece just inside Old Boys half. And they go towards the back. It is clean. There's Sean Waite, and it's a nice pass off to, well, it was a little bit low, but Daniel does actually quite well to control that. A little bit messy at the back there for his brother Sean. Toby Burkett, his first carry of the evening. Not going anywhere yet. New Plymouth Old Boys. Botchar waiting for it, the Canadian. And I think they've changed jerseys too, to be fair. Morgan in 5 and Botchar in 4. So they move the ball out wide, and there's Millam on that far side of the field, trying to get away from Nabuka. Ball is laid back, Waite going back and grabbing it. In fact, leaves it for Thompson. Jury and Dale Bailey all over him. Porkai, behind play they go. Northcote Hill, good quick hands here. Up to Toby Burkett. Waite again to Northcote Hill, directing the troops. Adam Smith in from fullback. Strong opening phase here for New Plymouth Old Boys as they edge ever so closer to that 22. Moving away to that far side. There's Botchar again. Distinctive haircut. Waite has a bit of a sniping run. A little bit isolated again. Jury and Bailey have to go in and make the tackle. Thompson goes in and plays halfback. Botchar in 4. Met by his opposite and Matt Kissick. Plugging it away to that far side of the field. They've lost it. That's Daniel Waite. So advantage being applied. But a really nice open start to this game.
Yeah, some good phases being built by Old Boys. They're putting some pressure on that right-hand flank. 2 breaks already made down that side. One by Northcote Hill and a later one as well. So Old Boys having most of the possession early door, but Stratford looking solid in defence overall.
So the first scrum, we've got McFarlane, Hanson and Mitchell in the front row for Stratford Eltham, and O'Neill, Porkai and Burkett. We're going to have Cam Stone mic'd up, but he may not have turned the microphone on.
It may have been what they were trying to sort out before on the sideline there, Will, potentially.
Yeah. So it will be Leone Nawai to feed. He actually played for Stratford Eltham 6 years ago in 2017 at first 5, and he's played 15 as well during the year. And Old Boys just have the edge there at the first scrum. Olsen, and on the bounce for Bailey, he kicks it downfield. Is it out on the full? No, just bounces inside. A good clearance kick there for Stratford Eltham, and Old Boys will have the line out pretty much where the first one was.
There's a coat of paint in it, I think there, Will. Not much inside the field of play there, but a nice little kick from Stratford and a good exit play.
A set piece for New Plymouth Old Boys, operating really well this year, and again they go up for it's Williamson, and Nawai is all over Sean Waite there. Cody Ray going in and playing halfback, which is a position that he's not accustomed to, but happy to do the job. As Sean Waite gets back in a position. Here's Morgan. One game for Taranaki so far. Sean Waite had a bit of a look this way, then gets it back to Northcote Hill, who'll bang the kick downfield. And well taken there from Adam Lennox. Played fullback for Taranaki on a number of occasions last year and did not look out of place. Of course, 9 is his usual position, but there's a little bit of space down that left-hand side. There's Willem Ratu. Elusive. Gets the ball off to Rocky Olsen. He storms inside the 22. Ball out the back door to Clough. Here's Stratford Eltham on the charge. They're 4 metres out. Nawai to Jury. Old Boys having to make the tackles. Nawai is there waiting for it. Is Ratu once more. There's the 5 and the goal line. Harry Hansen. He puts his head down and goes through the fence. Hansen reaches out and he scores the opening try of the final.
Well, it's just what the doctor would have ordered for the Stratford Eltham men. It was a nicely worked play. Willem Ratu making the break down the left-hand side and then coming back and involved in the play again. But it was Harry Hansen, the man from Otago, bustling over like any good hooker from close range, getting on the outside and putting his head down. Too hard to stop from there, the big bustling hooker.
It was just building, wasn't it? 5-0 with the kick to come, 6 minutes gone. And it will be Rocky Olsen. Scored a try last night, last week, one penalty and 4 conversions, 16 points. And a pretty comfortable position here for him. He's gone back a long way. And it will be interesting to see what this wind does. Just look at the flags on the far side. Not seem to be moving, so that wind may have dropped away. And the kickers will be happy with that. There's a bit of a hush around the ground. And this one is on target first up for Rocky Olsen. Hansen's try is converted. An early lead here, 7-0.
Perhaps one of the first times all season that Old Boys have actually been behind the play, to be honest, Will. They've obviously been pretty dominant all year, so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that early try.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Right, so Stratford Eltham roughly around their 22. Scott Jury takes it up. Nawai goes in and grabs it. And Old Boys player Jackson Morgan coming up. He could have been offside. Yeah, Cam Stone's got that. And Morgan, even last week, he was quite quick off that line. And the referee in a good spot to give the first penalty of the evening.
It's a nice little piggyback exit here for Stratford Eltham. Exactly what they would have wanted off the back of that early try. Looking to continue to put that pressure on Old Boys.
Good kick downfield. We've seen 3 lineouts in the exact same space. So the kickers like this area of the field.
Warwick Lemur getting a good workout early on.
He is. First time in the top 5 for the Taranaki referees at number 5, Warwick Lemur. Line out throw, it's 1 against, so Sean Waite thought about kicking. And just looking a little bit out of sorts on attack there, New Plymouth Old Boys. And it is Thompson on that far side of the field. Distributes off to Millam. And a good crunching tackle there from Will Butler. O'Neill waits for it to Waite. Northcote Hill, a couple of one-off runners there. Adam Smith once more in from fullback, the rangy character. Good tackle on him. Scott Jury and co with that. They plug away to this near side and the blind side. Waite has a bit of a carry, elusive player. Try to get out of a couple of tackles. And it's been turned over. Great work at the breakdown from Stratford Eltham. Nawai over the ball. McFarlane with his head down. So they're on attack now. Stratford Eltham, second seeds in this game. Lennox with a bit of a step and he takes off. Breaks off one. Kicks downfield. No one's at the back there. Aiming for the 50-22. But Smith's there and didn't have a lot of room to work with. He's done actually quite well to clear that. But still, Stratford Eltham on the front foot. Kissick now into Mitch O'Neill on the 10-metre line. Nawai to that left-hand side. Boot to ball from Olsen. Millam's there to tidy up. And he breaks out of 1 or 2. And eventually Scott Jury has got to bring him down. Wait again to Porkai. Now they've got some space here to work with, New Plymouth Old Boys. That's Daniel Waite now, off to Cody Ray. Tried to turn the ball back inside, and it's out eventually. Man, it's helter-skelter at the moment.
Wow, what a passage of play that was. It was both teams going at it. A nice bit of work there by Adam Lennox, putting that kick in behind, and Smith did well to return serve as well. So both teams going full bore. Old Boys perhaps looking a little nervy early doors, but Stratford Eltham, you know, really fighting hard at the breakdown. That's been one thing that's been obvious from the start of this match. Stratford Eltham really going hard, trying to turn that ball over.
Right, Pulkai again, not overly straight. Yeah, they'll come back for that one. And we had a great view of it, looking right down the barrel. And Stratford Eltham will have a scrum. And you are right, just a little bit testy there, I think. They haven't looked organised on attack that much. It's very unlike New Plymouth Old Boys, isn't it?
That's right, but they're a classy side, so, you know, expect them to bounce back pretty strongly here. As it looks like Mitch O'Neill just taking a knee. So we go back to the line-out. Harry Hansen this time to feed.
Very unusual in this situation that they choose the line-out instead of the scrum. I've only seen it twice. This is the third time.
Yeah, nearly fooled me for a second there, Will.
Yeah. So obviously back their line-out over their scrum. Hansen to throw. That one is not straight and will go again.
It's a carbon copy.
Yeah. Here's the replay. Went to the similar end of the line out too, right down the back. So consistency early on here from Cam Stone.
Perhaps a little more wind than we expected to. Both those throws sort of just looked like they were going left to right a little bit. So perhaps a little bit more wind than we had first anticipated. Old Boys going for the more conventional option of the scrum, of course.
Yep, so it will be Sean Waite to feed in his 100th. Proud rugby family, and they just keep it at the back there. Rowan Slate has got it, and referees told him to use it. So Sean Waite off to Northcote Hill in midfield. Cody Ray is in from the wing, up towards the 10-metre line here, New Plymouth Old Boys. Shape to kick Northcote Hill, then goes into the defence. Making the tackle is Jordan Masters, and he's over the ball and wins the penalty.
Yep, that theme of Stratford Eltham being strong over the ball at the breakdown time continues. Another steal, this time through a penalty. Doing a great job over the ball there, the Stratford Eltham, the men in the red and black.
So a chance for Olsen to clear. And he hasn't done a bad job with the line out in between the 10 and the 22. I think Stone has called time off. Sorting a few things out by the looks of it. Okay, we're set to go now. So, see the construction site on the far side. Of course, the east stand well underway. It'll be nice when that's back up and running. This time the line out is on target. And there's Nawai into Olsen. McFarlane now, they've used him a lot to run the ball up after line out. Nathan Clough, the captain, gains a couple of metres. Nawai off to Jury, behind play they go. Here's Olsen breaking through the line. And just the ball, just the passing there, just a little bit rushed there, I think. And that was Matt Kissick there, just maybe a little bit flustered with the ball in hand.
There's a nice little movement out the back door there by Rocky Olsen and sniping into that gap. But they just couldn't make that key pass once they'd made the sort of incision behind that Old Boys line.
Now can Pulkai make up for his mistake? No, he can't. It's over the top. Nawai gets a good ball out the back door. It's all general play, so they can play that New Plymouth Old Boys from where they were. And they're up towards the 10-metre line now. Pulkai again gets over the advantage line. A good run there from the hooker. Waite to Northcote Hill. There's Daniel Waite now. They go beyond Mitch O'Neill on that occasion. Waite back in a position. Morgan's waiting for it and grabs it. Northcote Hill again breaks out of a couple and he runs through the field. Kick downfield though, and the chase is good. from New Plymouth Old Boys. Jack Parker's on there, so there may have been a substitution as Lennox kicks for touch, and a good clearance too under a little bit of pressure.
Well, Northcott Hill again making a nice little break. He's looked pretty elusive early on, so one that the Stratford Eltham side will need to keep a close eye on defensively. But a good little clearance again from Adam Lennox. He's looking safe as houses at the back there for Stratford Eltham.
I'm just trying to identify who's gone off for New Plymouth Old Boys if Jack Parker's on. Of course, Parker wearing jersey 21. This one's over the top. And Daniel Waite grabs it off to O'Neill. Cody Ray's still there. He helps out at the ruck. Waite to Waite. And picked up there, Rowan Slater has a charge. Couldn't quite get the pass away. Again, Sean Waite looking for his options. Mitch O'Neill is there waiting for it. There's Daniel Waite, puts boot to ball, who's chasing. It's Williamson. Now Booker goes back. This could be a goal line dropout. No, it's carried back. Scrum 5 metres out, and the real first attacking opportunity for New Plymouth Old Boys.
It was a nice little grubber there by Daniel Waite, getting in behind the defence and putting the pressure on Easter Roman to Booker, who did a good job cleaning up but couldn't get out of his own goal line. So it'll be a 5 metre scrum. Old Boys have been dominant in the scrum so far, so they'll be looking to really put the onus on the Stratford Eltham forward pack right in front of their own goal line.
So an injured player in goal. It's Alex Mitchell by the looks of that.
Of course, the other results today, so we had Kaitaki getting up in the Division 2 final, 18-10 over Partia. In the Division 1, Southern triumphing over New Plymouth Old Boys 23-11. And in the Colts game, just finished before this match, Inglewood winning 20-13 over Stratford Eltham with a nail-biting finish in that one. Nearly a runaway try to tie it up there for Stratford Eltham in that match, but not to be for the Colts today.
Wouldn't have been great if there was extra time.
Oh, exactly. It would have been great, yeah. A kick to go to extra time. We would have obviously probably delayed the Premier final. So
it's happened before. I remember refereeing the 2018 final. The Colts game, I think it was, before went into extra time, and I remember Phil Mitchell, he won't mind me saying this, pacing up and down, saying, "Come on, Will, we've got to get going." I said, "We're not starting because the other game hasn't even finished yet." And it was well over. I think we started about 15 minutes late.
Oh, yeah. It's a bit like those boxing bouts. You never really know where you're going to be up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, of course, the schedule's all been aligned today, which is good.
Yeah. And a good buzz too. I mean, there's people walking around and they got their respective club jerseys on. So it's a really nice feel here today as the lights really start affecting the light now.
Yeah, it was tough to get a park, which is always a good sign.
Yeah. So here is New Plymouth Old Boys driving towards the line. Now the advantage has been applied. Rowan Slater off the back. Loft is over it. Been quiet so far. Has a charge towards the line. Only a couple of metres out from it. Stratford Eltham desperate to get over the ball. It's there. It's Porkai who has another crack. Stratford Eltham desperate, and they've had another go, and they're over. New Plymouth Old Boys score their first try of the final, and who's coming up? It's Mitch O'Neill.
That forward pack for Old Boys working nicely in unison, keeping it tight. The scrum was strong, and they decided to keep it in the forwards. The backs weren't getting their eyes on that one, and Mitch O'Neill bustling over from close range. Too hard to stop from there. So the scrum just proving a little bit troublesome here for Stratford Eltham early on. Old Boys certainly having the edge in that department.
So it will be Brayton Northcott Hill to attempt to kick the extras. 1 try last week, 2 penalties and 4 conversions for a total of 19 points. And he's really come of age this year. Obviously had a few injury problems and so forth during the last couple of seasons, but it's really nice to see him back into that Taranaki mix. Handful of games for the Bulls, and his first attempt of the evening. A good chase there coming from Stratford Eltham, but it doesn't matter because Northcott Hill adds the extras, and we are all level here, 7-all after that Mitch O'Neill try.
So Old Boys bouncing back strongly to that early Stratford Eltham try. And we're all even, nearly 20 minutes through the CMK Chartered Accountants Premier Final.
There's been a bit happening too. Both teams have shown us what they can do on attack. A few scrums, a few lineouts as well, so the first 20 or so minutes has not disappointed us, and we knew it was going to be a tight one, evident with the score so far after nearly 18 and a half. Rowan Slater runs it up towards his own 22. Used to play for Stratford Eltham, of course, and moved up north at the start of the season. Smith now breaks out of the 22. He's got no number on his back now. Good counter-ruck there from Stratford Eltham, and they've got the reward for it. Player in the side.
Yep, Stratford Eltham been really aggressive at the breakdown. We've seen a number of turnovers already, and another one there. So really a ploy to sort of disrupt Old Boys at that breakdown and slow the pace of the ball or get a turnover.
And they've got a few options here. Yep, they're going for the points. So any opportunity, it looks like Stratford Eltham will just say, nah, we'll take the shot rather than going for the line-out, which hasn't been working that well so far in this game.
Yeah, that's fair. Runs on the board in the final, as they say. What is it? 9 times out of 10 you bat first, the other time you think about bowling and you bat anyway. So runs on the board is what Stratford Eltham, or points on the board is what Stratford Eltham are going to here. And of course Rocky Olsen's been a pretty reliable performer with the boot for them, so he'll be looking to put this one between the sticks in his 50th match for Stratford Eltham.
Already on target today. That one's just away to the left-hand side, so it has been missed, and New Plymouth Old Boys will clear from their 22. That's a decent punt downfield, and well fielded there by Lennox, and someone may have thought that there was a knock on there, but Cam Stone happy. Nawai. Number 5 is Will Butler. Rowan Slater getting out of the way. He did well there not to get pinned in that. Butcher making the tackle. Nawai to Jury, and he had Kissick there as Mitch O'Neill tries to get over the ball. Moving it away to that left-hand side. Olsen looking promising with ball in hand. Lennox retained that one. In fact, it's being knocked on the ground.
Lennox has got plenty of creativity to his game here, looking with those little grubbers and chips, and he's got plenty of pace as well, so he's a pretty dangerous threat for the Stratford Eltham back three.
And we saw how good he was last year for Taranaki too, playing at 15. And Neil Barnes has obviously snapped him up again. At halfback though, they're gone with 3 halfbacks, and probably having Lennox at cover out the back there like he's doing tonight.
That's right, that versatility offers a lot in terms of the makeup of that squad, I suspect. He's got shades of Billy Slater about him in terms of that running style and sort of ghost through the gap and that sort of thing. So very elusive player, and he'll play a key role as this match progresses, I suspect.
Another scrum there, New Plymouth Old Boys, yet they've just got the edge there, and it goes down, so that Stones has told them to use it. Daniel Waite with his head down, Masters making the tackle with Bailey. Getting it into the back line. Northcott Hill thought about kicking, but then he runs. Here's Smith now up from fullback, eyeing up Cody Ray on this near side of the field. Taken down just about the halfway line. Porkai with another carry. He's been busy today. Wait again. Back in the pocket is Northcott Hill. Kicks and partially charged. Nawai to Lennox. He returns the favour, looking for the 50-22. Just bounces in front of it. And New Plymouth Old Boys will get a line out on the far side.
Well, not much in it there, but a nice clearance by Rocky Olsen, going deep into Old Boys territory. But Braden Northcott Hill again looking for space from his own territory and often finding it. He's an elusive player, and we can see why he's been one of the form players of the competition this year.
Just ticked over the halfway mark of this first half here. CMK Premier Grand Final. And it's been a cracker so far at the moment. Can't split these two teams. Millam runs up for it. And thought they may have turned it over there. It was Matt Kissick over the ball, but Old Boys did well to secure it. O'Neill Waite again looks to Northcott Hill. He'll kick downfield. Olsen is back and finds a little bit of space on that far side of the field. Another kick over the top. Olsen chasing. Oh, beautifully fielded and takes the mark. Northcott Hill. Good reliability there.
Really good coverage of ground there by Northcott Hill to snuff that bit of attack out for Stratford Eltham. But a nice bit of space opening up there for Rocky Olsen down that left-hand flank, making a good little break into the old boys line.
Northcott Hill kicks for touch. In fact, he hasn't found it. Well, not conventional there, Stratford Eltham, but that's okay. Lennox finds a little bit of space in no man's land and a high tackle there. Yeah, and advantage being applied. You could see that coming. Cody Ray dabs it through, and they could still get it back. No, they'll come back for the penalty. So, look, it's just one of those ones where they're falling into it, and you'll probably see the replay here. And there's a little bit of a scuffle, I think.
Yeah, there's no malice in it, but I think yellow card's the fair result. It was a high tackle, it was dangerous, and that's a big loss for Stratford Eltham. You can see him there apologising to Sean Waite, of course, in his 100th game, so we don't want him to have to go off for a high tackle for an injury. That'll be the last thing we want. So no malice in it, but fair call, I think. Obviously up round the neck there by Lennox.
Yeah, I thought Waite was ducking, but it's always going to be high, and it's Adam Lennox who's been sent to the bin for 10. So, can you Plymouth Old Boys capitalise on the numerical advantage? We'll wait and see, as there's a line out around the 10-metre line. And substitution, Alex Mitchell coming off, and he was down just before that try, nursing maybe his shoulder, and Aaron Toslin is the man who's coming on. But play continues, and Harry Hansen at the back of the line out secures it for Stratford Eltham. Olsen back in the pocket, kicks downfield, again looking for the 50-22. Smith falls over, but does pretty well to recover and gets it back into the hands of Olsen. Here's Nabuka. Haven't really seen much of him until now. Straight through the gap. Nabuka, options left and right. Waite making the tackle. Stratford Eltham on the charge, but they lose the ball forward. Probably should have held it in, and that would have set them up.
Well, he opened them up like a can of worms, did Issa Roma Nabuka, straight through the middle of the old boys' defence, but couldn't quite find his man on either side there to sort of make that pass to go under the bar, but plenty of signs of explosive play from both back three so far, Will.
Yeah, really unfortunate there that they just couldn't quite secure it, because that could have been helter-skelter stuff and could have been a spectacular finish there, but we've seen the ability of Nabuka.
Would have been a great way to respond to the yellow card with a try early doors in that yellow card period.
So another scrum midfield. Sean Waite to feed.
Tosland, of course, coming on for the Stratford Eltham side, I think on the near side.
And it goes down on that side too, yeah. So we'll reset that one.
Interesting to see what he can add to that scrum. Obviously, it's been Old Boys have dominated the scrum so far in this match, so he'll be looking to come on and shore things up on that tight head side.
A bit of a workhorse too, Aaron Toslin. And there's depth across the range of positions here for both teams. And as we said at the start of the match, that Stratford Eltham an unchanged playing 23, which is pretty rare to see.
Very rare,
a luxury, yeah.
I'm sure Ross Williams and co would have been happy with being able to put an unchanged 23 out today.
Yep, there's the intent, there's the penalty. I've got the edge. Well, yeah, you saw Nabuka just give a little bit of a push there to Sean Waite, and Sean Waite reacted to it.
Bit of to and fro from the halfbacks. You'd expect nothing less, Will.
So Northcote Hill to clear. And a good clearance too around the halfway line. So Stratford Eltham actually done pretty well to get where they are with a man in the bin. And he is almost through that halfway stage of that 10 minutes.
It's about the fifth line out between the 40-metre mark and the halfway mark on the old boys' side. So certainly plenty of play going through that channel.
Nice ball off the top from Morgan. There's Daniel Waite in midfield with his head down up towards the halfway line. They come back this side. It's a switch. Northcote Hill to Loft. Don't think he was expecting it, but did well to maintain it. Stratford Eltham, it's loose at the back. And Daniel Waite tidies up, picks up the pieces. Tried to pass, decides to go into contact. There's a man down, but I think he's just down to get out of the way. Yeah, he is. Sean Waite again. Missed the one-off runners. Smith, Cody Ray, Rowan Slater is on the wing there. It's a little bit messy there, but we'll come back. I think they're offside. Cam Stone.
It's just a bit static there from old boys. Not getting too much go forward there, but we'll go back to the penalty. Just offside. But Stratford Eltham still competing ferociously at the breakdown. That's clearly part of their strategy and plan, is to really try and turn the ball over and disrupt old boys' play at the breakdown.
Yeah, because as we know, and we've sort of seen it tonight already, that when they get a good run on, they're away. You Plymouth Old Boys. That is a great kick into the corner. And this could set them up. You Plymouth Old Boys, we've seen how good their scrum is. Their line-outs have been a little bit dicey so far, but a chance here to make amends. JJ Pokai will throw in shortly.
Well, that was a great kick into the corner there by Brayton Northcote Hill. May have even hit the corner flag, perhaps.
Loft. There's Jackson Morgan in there who's got it. It collapses, but that's okay. Another pick and drive. That's Pokai in there again. Now the forwards roll up their sleeves. They're the posts. And there's the try line. Hard to stop them from this position. Pokai at the back. And they decide to go to the backs. Nice inside ball. Daniel Waite scores. Well, it was brewing. And Daniel Waite edges his team ahead in the final.
Very nicely worked play there. The little wraparound off Sean Waite. You thought the forwards were going to keep it tight as they had done for the previous try, but they decided to go out wide, and a nice little in-ball for Daniel Waite to go over. There it was, the little wraparound, and the in-ball here from Northcote Hill to Daniel Waite, finding that space. And of course, a canny operator like Daniel Waite, he's not going to miss out from there.
Yeah, I thought they were going to keep it in the forwards there for a moment, but they decided to get it out into the back line. And Northcote Hill already slotted a conversion today. Will have a chance to get it out to 7 points.
It was a nice little sort of deceptive play there, because you thought they were going to keep it tight in those forwards, the likes of Pokai, who have been, you know, so destructive from close range in those pick and goes, but they decided to go out wide in the nice little in ball, and Waite was too good from there.
He's missed that one. There's good pressure though coming from Stratford Eltham.
It's always a sign of the character in the side, I feel, that trying to chase down the kick on those conversions. And obviously Stratford Eltham are getting out there and knowing that every point's going to be crucial in this match.
So Rocky Olsen to get play back underway. Gets nice height on the restart as well.
Shane Austin-esque.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And it's done wonders because it's been knocked on. Under advantage here. And they'll come back for it. So maybe the lights potentially making an impact on that occasion.
Yep, lights coming into play. I think Shane Austin would be a very proud man today, of course. An Eltham man, I think, or Eltham Karponga man. So he'll no doubt be either tuning in or here today supporting his old club.
His son had the under-20 final as well, so I'm sure he was supporting Mason. And speaking about referees, Cam Stone has been involved in the MLR over in the States, had the Western Conference final, and then he was on touch last weekend for the main game. And congratulations to the New England Free Jacks for winning that one. Jason Potros in that side. And Stratford Eltham on the front foot up towards the 22. There's Masters, and they break inside the 22. Kissick thought about picking it up and grabbing it, but he's left it for his halfback. And Dale Bailey has just shunted backwards a little bit. Here's Olsen looking really good with ball in hand. Ratu on that far side of the field. We know how dangerous he can be. Nawai. Cunningham is there. Toslin at his backside as the forwards roll it up. Moving it again to that far side. Stratford Eltham running out of space, so they'll bring it towards the open. Toslin with his head on, with the headband around his head. Nawai again. Olsen now. Nice inside ball to Nabuka. Just a little bit unmessy there, but it's off the foot. Cam Stone identified that one. Kissick over the top again. There's Nathan Clough, the co-captain. Ball back inside to Ratu. Right, what can they do here? Another carry there from Kissick. Another charge. Jury up towards the 5 metre line, and he can still go after releasing the ball. Hansen now with his head down again. The forward's working really well. They're trying to drive him over. They're going to have another crack. Nawai wants it. They've got numbers away to that left if they can get it out there. That's the way they'll go. And Jordan McFarlane will score. Stratford Eltham right back in it.
Well, Stratford Eltham, they put together a number of phases there. The forwards kept it tight, and space ultimately opened up with the ex-Gisborne Boys High School first 15 captain Jordan McFarlane going over from close range. The loose head prop. He'll tell them it was a 50 metre run in years to come, I'm sure, but 5 metres is probably more accurate.
And there was a player on the outside too. Nathan Clough was lurking on the wing just in case.
Oh, he was never getting his hands on that one. Well,
so the scores are back level for the second time.
so both sides building phases nicely in their sort of respective tries, and space ultimately opening up off the back of that. So to go into the lead here, Rocky Olsen looking to add the extras. It's always that crucial 10-minute spell either side of half-time, isn't it? Obviously the man Lennox back from the bin, and Stratford Eltham scoring that one 5 minutes before the half-time Oranges.
That one just going away to the right-hand side, so that's being missed. Still 12 all. Jordan McFarlane try, couldn't be converted. And welcome to everybody watching this coverage. Reece Connell over in Papua New Guinea. Great of you to tune in, and thanks to Riddles Entertainment for the live streaming. It's been brilliant so far during the season. In the last game of that club season. And you Plymouth Old Boys now with that quick throw in. Northcote Hill is smothered. And they're moving it down. There's Cody Ray in some space. And Toslin with the tackle and gets it out. And there could be a little bit of a dust up there. No. The experience of Cody Ray says, mate, just calm down.
Yeah, well, Toslin sort of shades of the raging bull. Gordon Tallis there taking him out. And obviously Cody Ray not taking too kindly to that. Cody Ray had many fine moments out on this Yarrows Stadium. Of course, none finer than that 2014 final where he kicked unblemished 8 from 8 to win the title.
Just outstanding, wasn't it? Great day for Taranaki Rugby. Could it be a great day for these clubs? One of them anyway will walk away with a piece of silverware. 3 to go in this first half. Olsen straight down the throat of Millam. He goes straight through. Wait over the ball. Mitch O'Neill thought about passing and he loses the ball. Nathan Clough now. And what can Stratford Eltham do? 50-22, potentially no one at the back. That is a great kick. A 50-22, the first one of the game to Stratford Eltham.
Great heads-up play to try and get that 50-22, and it pays off handsomely. So Stratford Eltham hot on attack as we head on to the cusp of half-time. I suspect they'll go to a driving maul here, Will. 20 metres out from the old boys' line.
Yeah, the forwards will want to get involved in this one. Hansen. They go to Kissick. And it's not straight. So a chance goes begging as there's roughly 90 seconds to play. And the Plymouth Old Boys will get a scrum on the 22.
Well, they went to the back of the line out there and couldn't quite get the execution right. Good Stratford Eltham.
So the reason why earlier Jack Parker was on, because Adam Smith went off for a blood bin, hence the jersey with no number on the back. But Smith's come back on in the interim anyway, so very subtle that. And depending on how long the scrum takes, it could be half time. It will be Sean Waite to feed it for New Plymouth Old Boys. It spews out pretty quickly.
It's like a pinball.
Yeah, it was. And he's done well there under a little bit of pressure from Nawai. Waite sells a dummy and has got his brother Daniel there with him. He eyes him up. Daniel Waite down this left-hand side. Toes it ahead, and it could be too far. Yes, it is. Not a bad option, though. There was some space down that left flank.
There was plenty of space. Nice break from Sean Waite. Just ghosted through the gap. But unfortunately, the kick nearly went to Maratahu Street, so it's out, and we'll have a line out here. Harry Hansen to feed again.
Well, they need to get the line out sorted, both teams.
Set piece probably just costing Stratford Eltham a little bit in this first half. They've been brilliant at the breakdown, brilliant at finding space, but set piece, those core fundamentals of the game, probably just costing them a bit so far.
This one works in their favour. Nawai kicking it ahead. Loft does well. It bounces up into the breadbasket for him. Stratford Eltham smothering him on the ground. Waite has another snipe. There's Williamson, originally out of Harwood. Rowan Slater, who's been pretty quiet in the first 40 minutes of this game. Waite again to Porkai. The forwards running it up for New Plymouth Old Boys. Botcha to Daniel Waite. Off to Ray. Steps back in field. Botcha waiting for it. Paul Tito-esque. New Plymouth Old Boys with front football as we tick over 41 minutes in this grand final, the first half. And these two teams can't be separated, but it's good quick ball on that far side of the field. Waite tries to go in. Nathan Clough puts him down with a couple of other Stratford Eltham defenders. Mitch O'Neill thought about passing to Burkett. He's still going. Mitch O'Neill up towards the 22. Waite to Slater. Again, shape to pass. And he's through. Waiting for it is Northcott Hill. Smith again in from fullback. Rangy character with no number. Sean Waite to Botcha. Just edging ever so close to the line as Daniel Waite has another bursting run into the Stratford Eltham defence. Josh Thompson, the midfielder. Waite to Slater. Morgan's there in support. Toslin holding them up. Couldn't quite get the turnover there. These guys don't want to go to the break. They want another try here, or some points to edge them into the lead. O'Neill. Just getting over the gain line, New Plymouth Old Boys. Smith again, got the pass from Daniel Waite. Free-flowing opening 42 minutes of the CMK Grand Final. Stratford Eltham over the ball. Has it been turned over, has it? No. May have been a little hand there from Daniel Waite. That's a good tackle. And I think Warwick Lemert made the call there, the assistant referee. And there's a few handbags at 10 paces. Yeah, hand on the ground. I thought it was New Plymouth Old Boys, but obviously Stratford Eltham were guilty on that occasion.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was a nice work up there by New Plymouth Old Boys. What do you think they'll do here, Will? Go for the corner or take the 3? Go for the corner.
Go for the corner. And, oh no, they're going for the 3. You called it.
Interesting. Cody Ray doesn't seem too happy with that call. I think he was eyeing up that corner flag.
And Jackson Morgan was pointing too. But the call's been made.
Going into the half-time with a lead, I suppose, is worth its weight in gold in a tight match like this.
Yeah, and it has been tight too. Has not disappointed. We knew it was going to be a tight one, but you look at New Plymouth Old Boys after the first, 43 and a half minutes. They've just had the edge at set piece, as we've spoken about. They've had a couple of sniping runs with their players that have been doing it all season. And Daniel Waite, just before the break, a chance to edge ahead in the final. Obviously Northcote Hill not kicking. So Daniel Wade, that one has missed. And Masters will kick it out. And we will go to half-time here at Yarrows Stadium. We cannot separate these two teams. 2 tries each, and it is 12 all at half-time. Sam, your assertions on the first, I was going to say 40 minutes, but it's actually been about 44 minutes.
We've got a cracking final on our hands here, Well, that's all I can say. 12 all, it's a stalemate at half-time as we go to the Oranges. Both these sides not wanting to give an inch. Old Boys with the upper hand at set pieces we've talked about, but Stratford Eltham have been ferocious over the ball at the breakdown, really disrupted some of the play from the Old Boys side, and both sides, their back 3 have been explosive. So we've seen Nabuka make a nice break, Northcote Hill's been elusive, and Mason Millam also evading plenty of tackles too.
Yeah, it's been pretty entertaining. And both teams in their respective huddles, Old Boys on the left and Stratford Eltham on the right. As the lights really starting to make an impact now. And as we've spoken about the new initiative here from Taranaki Rugby. And while we wait for the second half to get underway, catch the Central Roofing Taranaki feel and Yarrows Taranaki Bulls in action at Yarrows Stadium this year during the 2023 Bunnings NPC and Wharapama Cup with the Taranaki Rugby season membership. General admission for an adult is $40 and child and adult in the Matahio family zone is $90. Head to terafu.co.nz to secure your season membership.
Yeah, of course it's going to be exciting, that national provincial competition kicking off very shortly. A good Taranaki squad, and Neil Barnes and his crew will be looking forward to that competition starting off. They've got that novel game out at Manaia to celebrate 100 years of Yarrows support, Yarrows existence, and of course support for sport in Taranaki and particularly rugby. So that'll be a good game down in Manaia in a couple of weeks' time as well.
And you're calling that one with Hamish Mitchell, I believe?
Yes, it'd be good fun calling that one. So down in Manaia, so it's not every day you get to go down there and play a game. So to have Taranaki and Wellington down there for that one will be great.
Yeah, it will be good. So the final, obviously we're at half time here, and it is 12 all.
Which way are you leaning, Will?
I just think, just watching it now, I think New Plymouth Old Boys has the edge up front. That's my view, and we haven't quite seen, I guess, Stratford Eltham. They just need to get their line out sorted, I believe, and their scrum time as well is a little bit dicey. So, but to be fair, they haven't really been feeding the ball in at scrum time, to be honest, to show us what they can do. But just watching New Plymouth Old Boys feeding it in, they are getting that go forward, and we have seen a couple of penalties as well. So that's their strength, and New Plymouth Old Boys will continue to do that, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Old Boys do have that dominance at set piece, and I'm probably leaning that way as well, albeit for the nostalgic part of me would like the red and blacks of Stratford Stratford Eltham to get the job done. Obviously, over 50 years since Stratford as a standalone club have won the title back in 1971. Of course, Eltham won it back in 1991. But as a combined together, they've won 24 titles, which is the record. So they've been a very proud club, and it would be pretty nostalgic to see them get up. And to be honest, I've never seen so many red and black and white shirts about. So it's great to see the small, rural towns of Taranaki really getting into it.
Yeah. And if they do win tonight, we've got 40 minutes of action to come. I think it'll do the town wonders. And rugby in rural communities is very strong, and I think it'll just be amazing down there if they do the job, and might even go down there for a couple of quiet cups of tea.
That's
as well.
The one, yeah. The old glockenspiel will be coming out of his hutch if they can get it done.
Yep.
Supposedly, probably hasn't come out for 50 years. So,
no.
Of course, a Shakespearean town down there, so they'll be very excited to try and get this done in this coming 40 minutes. But Old Boys too have been probably a bit quiet by their own lofty standards in terms of premierships in the last couple of years. I think the last final was back in 2019 from memory, and 2 wins in the last 14 years. So by their own sort of lofty standards probably have been a bit quiet, so they'll be looking to sort of end that sort of quieter period.
Yeah. We have seen 2 tries each, and just going through the scorers, Mitch O'Neill scored the first. Daniel Waite got a try as well. He got a nice inside ball from Brayton Northcott Hill. Northcott Hill slotted just the one conversion, and he missed a conversion later, and Daniel Waite just missed a penalty just before. But for Stratford Eltham, Hanson scored along with Jordan McFarlane. Olsen's just picked up one conversion and missed the second conversion, also a penalty kick in there as well. So 12 all is the score, and the second half is back underway here at Yarrows Stadium, and that is Rowan Slater carried it up forward over the 22, released it and got back up, which he can do. Sean Waite to Daniel Waite. Haven't noticed if there are any reserves on yet, but I'm sure the bigger numbers will rear their heads out as the game goes on. Mopo Cunningham, the number 8 for Stratford Eltham, tried to get away from Millam, and Nawai is there. Lennox is back on, of course, was sent to the bin in the first half for a high tackle. Olsen dabs the one over the top. A little bit of space there for Lennox. Well taken. McFarlane on the charge up towards the 10-metre line. He gets the pass off to Clough. Stratford Eltham with ball in hand in the early stages of this second half. Cunningham cuts back inside. Loft making the tackle, and they're inside the 22. Nawai trying to hold him up. New Plymouth Old Boys. Nawai reaches in and grabbing it. Olsen there, change of play. There's Ratu now, the winger. Jack Parker making the tackle, and they've got the turnover as well, New Plymouth Old Boys. Great work. It's Toby Burkett getting the pats on the head.
Yeah, Toby Burkett nicely over the ball there, getting a turnover at a pretty critical time. But Stratford Eltham finding some space with those dinky little chip kicks and going in behind, and it was McFarlane. Shades of Mark Bull Allen, of course, a Stratford man, charging up through the middle off the back of that little chip. So bit of space in behind there for Stratford Eltham, but a nice work from Burkett to get over the ball.
Cody Ray to clear. And we've had Northcott Hill, we've had Daniel Waite, and now Cody Ray doing the kicking.
Well, if we have to go to a kick-off, they'll be well placed.
Yeah,
of course, was it Cardiff back a couple of years back in a final, a European final, where they had to have the kick-off? So I suspect we won't have to go that far down the channel. But
no. As Rowan Slater takes it up towards the 10-metre line. Waite to Waite. We've seen that a few times tonight. As they're looking for the 50-22. I think they may have got it too. Yep, Rowan Gladding signals at the assistant referee on the side. And that's the second one of the game.
There's no one at home base there for Stratford Eltham, and Waite, of course, a canny operator, picks that out from a mile away, and it was excellent execution to go deep into Stratford Eltham territory. They'll feed to the line out, 15 out, and looks like Bradley Slater. Pretty handy to have a Super Rugby player to come off the bench in a club final, so he'll feed to this line out.
Yep, he throws. And Botchar goes up with it. They plug away to this near side, flirting with the touchline as Slater, and did well to keep the ball in play. Burkett again with his head down. Stratford Eltham over the ball. Mitch O'Neill. They're all lined up to that left-hand side. Botchar. 6 metres out, New Plymouth Old Boys. 12 all in the final. That was the half-time score. And they've got space here to work with. There's Millen. Tackled by Ratu. Stratford Eltham doing their best to just slow the ball down legally. Another carry there from O'Neill. Making good metres too, as they get it out into the backs. Good inside ball, Adam Smith up towards the 5 metre line. They're the posts. Waite. Slater on the charge. Sat down by Scott Jury. Moving it out to that left-hand side. Waite again with another carry. And a dummy pass as well. Morgan. Cunningham with the tackle. Some ferocious hits going here. And Loft. Botchar again. The defence from Stratford Eltham so far is really good. But they can't seem to get a turnover yet. The forwards getting involved. Loft over the ball. He's got O'Neill with him. Just edging ever so close to the line. Slater thought about passing and smothered in the tackle by Stratford Eltham. Waite to Smith. Almost through. Mitch O'Neill waiting for it. In fact, they go to a player in front of him. May have been Porkai. Slater's there. And another crack. The phase is mounting here for New Plymouth Old Boys. Botchar, who's been busy tonight. Stratford Eltham player on the way, but Stone said the ball is available, and rightly so. They are very close here, New Plymouth Old Boys. Ball is up, so Stratford Eltham were quick on that one. They're doing well on D, but can it last? Waite. Nawai coming up and making the tackle. They're not going anywhere. So Sean Waite directs the troops. There's Mitch O'Neill with another one. Loft on that left-hand side. Good patient defence here from Stratford Eltham. Mitch O'Neill with Slater in support. That's Rowan Slater, his cousin. Lays it back. Burkett now. Harry Hansen there is with Toslin for Stratford Eltham. Shift back towards the 5 metre line. Now the backs have a go. Thompson now. But again, the defence has been heroic so far for Stratford Eltham, and they get the penalty as well.
Well, they say defence can win championships, and it doesn't get much more resolute than that from Stratford Eltham. On their line for nigh on 20-25 phases, I'd have a guess, and really holding firm. And the turnover there, it was desperately needed. But Old Boys putting together a number of phases though, so looking dangerous, and Stratford holding firm.
Well, Waite and Morgan remonstrating with the referee. He's not going to change his mind as Olsen bangs it downfield to rub salt into the wounds. They've got to start again, but this one hasn't found touch.
That's
it needed to. Yeah, as Jack Parker's on in jersey number 21. There's Waite. Off to Thompson now. Kissick is there in defence as he has been all year. Waite to Williamson. Bumps off Amopo Cunningham and goes over the advantage line. Daniel Waite now stabs it ahead. Parker with the chase. Ratu going back. And what can he do to get out of trouble? Bradley Slater and others put him on the ground. Lennox, who spent some time in the bin, clears, and this time it finds touch.
Oh, they'll be grateful they found touch there, because it was a big missed opportunity not finding touch with that penalty, and of course tired after defending for about 25 phases on their own line, but they do find touch eventually. But Old Boys still hot on attack. Looks like we've got a change there. Jackson Morgan coming off for Old Boys, and it may have been Josh Dowsing, I think. Of course, former New Plymouth Boys High School first 15 captain Josh Dowsing.
It didn't play in that semi-final last weekend as Stratford Eltham have it at the back. And dealing with a few injuries this year, but he's back on as Warwick Lamert falls over on the far side. Needs bigger sprigs.
He was hoping you didn't see that one. Well.
I saw it. Jack Parker is on the far side of the field. He'll return this one. And it goes down the throat of Stratford Eltham. A banana type kick. Looking for that 50-22 again. Cody Ray is back in a position. And his reliable boot hasn't found touch. Spoke too soon. Lennox again eyeing up the 50-22. It's out on the full.
It's over into the construction site nearly, but Olsen of course missed touch earlier, but he nearly found a beautiful banana kick to get the 50-22, but not quite. It was snuffed out there by Cody Ray on the left wing, but looking to make amends there, Rocky Olsen, and doing a good job of it.
Slater to throw. Williamson goes up with it. And here's Smith, that first receiver. They're just so good at getting over the advantage line. Dowsing on the charge up towards the 22. Waite inside ball to Slater, and he loses it, which means there will be a scrum to Stratford Eltham. Still 12 all. That was the halftime score as we are 9.5 minutes through the second half.
Yeah, nothing between these two teams, Will. Both going at it in this final, as you would expect. Two proud clubs looking to get this championship back in their respective club rooms. The White House for New Plymouth Old Boys and down at Vic Park for Stratford Eltham, of course. Either way, I suspect both these teams will be celebrating a fine season that they've had this year.
Yeah, definitely being the form teams, I should say.
And two teams in the finals as well, with Old Boys being in the Div 1 final in addition to this final, and Stratford Eltham being represented in the Colts final too. Yeah,
absolutely. Proud clubs, proud rugby clubs, as Perry Lawrence, who scored last week in jersey 17 for New Plymouth Old Boys. And the scrum went down, so another restart. So the two 17s going toe-to-toe on that far side of the field. Toslin for Stratford Eltham and Lawrence for New Plymouth Old Boys.
Toslin's added some good energy since he's come on the park, which has been great to see.
Absolute workhorse. Head down, bum up sort of guy, isn't he?
He is, yep. Gets in those dark, dingy places and gets the job done.
So it's Stratford Eltham with the scrum around their 10-metre line. There's the intent from New Plymouth Old Boys again. And the ball comes out. Stone allowing that to play. And New Plymouth Old Boys get the ball back. There's Thompson into Olsen. Gains a couple of metres, and Stratford Eltham over the ball. They'll get the penalty. They were lucky. They didn't concede one before at that scrum, but they do the work at the breakdown.
Yeah, might have got away with one at the scrum time there, Stratford Eltham will, but to be fair, they did stay flat despite going. They had the car in reverse, but they did stay flat and even. And Dale Bailey, the number 7, over the ball like any good open side flanker for Stratford Eltham. So we'll get another good view of the line out.
Yeah.
Seem to have plenty of them today.
Straight down the barrel. Hanson. He gets it back from Jury. It was a good scrap at the top there. Here's McFarlane again. Still carrying the ball forward up towards the halfway line for Stratford Eltham. Nawai to Olsen. Stabs it through for Masters and Ratu.
Yeah, nice little grubber there by Rocky Olsen. Just pushing Old Boys back deep into their territory. In the second half, no one's really grabbed the upper hand yet. It's been 2 and 4, back and forth between these two teams.
Sort of played between the two 22s, roughly. Yep. Okay, there's Dowsing with another carry for him. Busy since he's come back on. Daniel Waite back into the 22, and he clears. It's carried back, so he can't kick it out on the full. There's Rocky Olsen, who's back there with Lennox. There's Lennox now with the ball. Brave man to run into the defence of Perry Lawrence. But the ball is still there for Stratford Eltham. There's Olsen. Adam Smith came out of the line quickly. Olsen with a kick over the top to Nabuka. And Thompson is there for New Plymouth Old Boys, running it backwards to give him a little bit of space. And Loft is there, and Stratford Eltham again over the ball. They've actually done really well to get a couple of turnovers in the second half.
They have. He's got a range of tricks and kicks in his repertoire, does Rocky Olsen. He's got the banana kick, the little chip kick, the grubber. It's all been on show today, and that's been pivotal actually in Stratford Eltham getting out of their own zone. Not one-dimensional. He's got plenty of different aspects to his play, getting in behind the defence, and that variety in the kicking game has been a real feature of Stratford Eltham's play.
And a good kick there with the angle not that favourable, but the halfway between the 22 and the try line, probably a touch closer to that try line. And if they can get that line out operating well here, Stratford Eltham, we could see a driving maul. Hanson the plumber to throw. He's probably been in some dark places too. And Jury goes up with it. Now they can set it up here, Stratford Eltham. There's the push coming. Hanson's at the back with the ball. As the crowd find their voice. Not going anywhere yet, but some of the backs join in. Nabuka had a bit of a crack there with his head down. Hanson off to that far side of the field. Ball is short though for Stratford Eltham. And Stone's just blown his whistle here. I think it might be held up here. Yep, it is. I think that's the call. So a goal line dropout.
He's got a strong running game, does Harry Hanson. He's on a number of occasions, of course. The first try, he made that break from 5 out and burrowed over from close range, and he's made a number of good little runs since.
It's sort of like the contemporary hooker. And Dane Cole started that too, didn't he?
That's right, yep.
Yeah.
It's not just about throwing in at the line out and being good at scrums these days. You've got to have that wide range to your game.
Yeah, that'll separate the good and the bad out. Not saying anyone who doesn't have a running game is bad, but it just gives you a little bit more. As there's Nabuka into Lawrence, driven back. And Rowan Slater trying to get over the ball, and he's won the turnover there. No, he's off his feet. Thought he'd done enough. But again, Matt Kissick pointing for the corner, and they'll go again, Stratford Eltham.
Interesting, they just did decide to take the 3 earlier on in the piece, of course unsuccessfully, but no, they have gone for the shot. Yep.
So really the first point scoring opportunity of the half.
It could have gone either way there with Rowan Slater, of course coming up against his old side in Stratford Eltham. I think he may have got there on the first occasion, but sort of went back for seconds, and of course Cam Stone up to the mark and noticing that.
So 16 minutes gone in this second half. CMK Premiership Grand Final, 12-all, which was the halftime score. And Rocky Olsen here has a chance to edge Stratford Eltham ahead. He's missed another one. So they'll come back for the 22. That's 3 misses.
Just a bit nervy there from Rocky Olsen. The contact didn't quite look right. And not adding the extras on that occasion.
So Daniel Waite to clear. Here's McFarlane again into Smith. McFarlane doing well to drive it up towards the 10-metre line. Now wide to Scott Jury with his head down. They come to this near side. There's Kissick. Smith again with another tackle. He's been pretty busy on defence actually. And Old Boys this time getting over the ball, and they've got the turnover. Play on's the call. Waite will bang it downfield. No real chase coming so far from Old Boys. There's Olsen with a step. A couple of steps in fact as well, and puts himself into some space. Clough. Masters, the centre. Ball is a little bit loose, and may have been a little knock on there at the breakdown there from New Plymouth Old Boys.
He was definitely ambitious by now. I was a pretty short side down that blind that he tried to go down there, but just knocked on by Old Boys as they were trying to turn that ball over at the breakdown.
And just a chance to thank CMK Chartered Accountants. They're proud supporters of Club Rugby and Taranaki Rugby. CMK provides accounting and business development support to clients in Taranaki. Sick of the same old bull? Call CMK.
Of course, they sponsor the competition-wide, do CMK, but they also big sponsors of Stratford Eltham too, and I know which colour shirt John Dasley will be wearing today. I suspect it's not white.
I see his comment in the paper yesterday. He picked Stratford Eltham as comment. Who else? Absolutely correct. Right, there's Masters. Ball was just in front of him a little bit there. Did well to contain it. And Plymouth Old Boys trying to hold him up. Ball is there. Scott Jury lays it back for Nawai. Olsen stabbing it over the top. Harry Hansen running and grabbing it. There was a player on the inside and Ratu, but couldn't quite get him. Ferocious clean out though coming. And there may have been a little knock on there. So New Plymouth Old Boys will have a chance to clear from their own half. And it's Slater, who probably hasn't done a lot of that. They'll come back for the scrum though, surely.
You don't see the number 8 go for the box kick every day, but it was Harry Hansen like a steam train down that left-hand flank. And again, we see that variety of kicking in Rocky Olsen's game, the nice little chip over the top. And the hooker, like any good hooker on that wing, picking it up and certainly some stopping.
Yeah. Got a few substitutions coming on. Lionel Shaw, the sub-manager, pointing at 16 for Stratford Eltham, Trent Rowlands. He's coming on now, yep. And he's on for Hansen too. He's had a great shift, the plumber. And he gets a round of applause from the Stratford Eltham faithful who have made the half-an-hour trip up from Stratty and the 40-minute trip up from Eltham.
He's been probably best on the park for mine today, Harry Hansen. So surprising 20 minutes to go as we go into this last quarter. They've taken him off the park, but fine performance there, Harry Hansen.
So will be Plymouth Old Boys to feed. Another scrum's gone down. Be interesting here to see who has the edge at scrum time. Of course, in the first half it was New Plymouth Old Boys, but now since the reserves have come on, I see Slater at his preferred position at hooker. Last week he came on at number 8, but given Dowsing's the addition, Slater can go to his preferred spot.
It's a pretty formidable scrum there for Old Boys. As you say, bring on a Super Rugby player from the bench in a club final. It's a pretty handy thing to have at your disposal.
Absolutely. Yep, well, there it is. That's the indication. And they're not going to go with the penalty. They're going to reset that.
Yeah, that theme has continued, though. Old Boys having dominance at scrum time. Stratford Eltham have done a good job of covering over that, though, to be fair, and they've really hung in that fight for this full 60 minutes so far. It's surprising, isn't it? The 2 try scorers for Stratford Eltham today in the front row, and all season we've had Nabuka, Ratu and Brendan Coop have been the competition's 3 top try scorers. So it's funny how these things, finals footy, you never know how it's going to play out.
They haven't seen much of the ball, have they? They backs close to the line. Right, so there's the shunt coming. And Sean Waite saying, where's the penalty? But Cam Stone said that they've gone up first, they've popped first, so let's play with that one, and we'll go again.
Old Boys certainly on the go forward there, but they're both sort of popping at the same time, and if anything, Slater's probably popping before Rowland, so you can see why Cam Stone's come to that conclusion.
So it's been a ferocious start to this game, and players might be a little bit tired too. That's probably why things are a little bit slow out there. And this time it goes in, and it goes down. This time referee playing advantage. Adam Smith at first receiver, tried to get the pass off to Thompson, but there was a man on him. And Dowsing with a carry up towards the halfway line. Daniel Waite kicks over the top, looking again for a 50-22. Advantage was over. And Olsen bangs it downfield, and this time he finds touch. He's missed a couple of ones, but this one's worked out okay.
Well, they'll be pretty happy with that outcome, Stratford Eltham. They gave away that penalty advantage at scrum time, but a nice clearance kick there by Rocky Olsen, of course, in his 50th game for Stratford Eltham today. 50 consecutive games too, Will. Fine effort.
Yeah, great commitment. He's managed to stay injury-free. Played well for Stratford Eltham. And Nawai doing well. Passes to his Fijian mate in Booker. Stratford Eltham on the front foot now. Up towards the 22. Scott Jury distributes. And there's Bailey, the 7, running freely in some space. Old Boys again trying to get over the ball. It's been intercepted. Daniel Waite coming off the line, and Sean Waite kicks it downfield. This will be a fantastic finish. That one, though, is straight down the throat of Lennox. He kicks it over the top. Cody Ray allows it to bounce. It's awkward at the back. Ray, and his experience, does well. Gets it off to Daniel Waite and to Sean Waite. The intent here from New Plymouth Old Boys is outstanding. They've done excellent to get it out of their 22 under pressure. And now they're on the front foot. Perry Lawrence running in and playing halfback. Slater is met by Rowlands and Cunningham. Daniel Waite kicks it down the centre of the park. Ratu allows it to bounce. And here's Olsen now. Over the top it goes to Masters. Kicked into touch, or partially charged there from New Plymouth Old Boys. So Stratford Eltham will have a line out. Just Old Boys going from 22, now they're at the 10-metre line. Excellent work.
Helter-skelter play. It's like a pinball out there. Ball's going left, right and centre. Adam Lennox, he was nearly in behind with that chip and chase, but Cody Ray cleaned up in the finish. And Old Boys worked their way up into the Stratford Eltham territory. And it'll be Rowlands to feed to the line out.
Chase Bailey is on for Nathan Clough. Meanwhile, there's Rowlands to throw. Scott Jury couldn't quite contain it. But Stratford Eltham have it inside their own half. Olsen, an up and under. And there's the chase coming from Stratford Eltham again. Made to bounce. Millam. Kick off the side of the boot deliberately. Falls to Lennox. And he takes off. Up over halfway. Nawai is there. Cunningham. Head down into Slater is opposite. Nawai back over the ball. Olsen now thought about passing with the kick over the top. Here's Ratu, and Jack Parker bangs it downfield on the bounce. Could that be a 50-22? Not sure where it went out. That would have been a bit of luck.
If so, it would have been the best 50-22 of the year, because it was on the fly. Jack Parker, lovely work. Just a couple of metres short of that 50-22.
14 minutes to play in the final.
Lionel Messi would have been proud of that one.
He would have. As the crowd get amongst it, Stratford Eltham. And the chant goes up around the ground. Could we see extra time? It comes back on the side of Stratford Eltham. Nawai under a little bit of pressure close to that line. There's a player down there. I think that's Scott Jury who's injured, is it? Yes, it is. Play carries on. Meanwhile, Smith to Thompson. Number 19 is Campbell Moore. Made the tackle for Stratty, and it's been knocked on at the back there. So under advantage is Stratford Eltham. Lennox going and play halfback to Olsen. Space out here inside their own 22. The confidence is unbelievable. Ratu's knocked it on, but are they going to go back? Yeah, they are.
Was it a penalty or a scrum? I'm not sure what Cam's saying.
Yeah, just knocked it on at the back there. Sean Waite was under a little bit of pressure. They want to get rid of this one pretty quickly.
So this is where all those trainings on a Tuesday night and Thursday night during the season start to come to fruition as we move into this final 13 minutes of the match. All those hard yards through the season. Both these teams will be calling on that memory bank of, you know, get the systems working, go to your instincts and get the job done. As we hear the crowd in full voice.
Yeah, Southern?
Yeah, they might have been mistaken as to who's playing, but
the Southern Bees who won that, they're still here having a good time.
Obviously positioned close to the mic.
Right down in front of us, I'm sure. Right, so I'm sure Stratford Eltham will want to get rid of this pretty quickly. And they do pretty well at the back. Masters. And there's the chase from Stratford Eltham. Loose in no man's land. But I think New Plymouth Old Boys have it back there. Yep, wait. Thought about going left, then comes back this open side. Kick over the top. And it bounces beautifully there for New Plymouth Old Boys. They're up towards the 22. I think that was Daniel Waite who had it. Sean Waite to Botcha. This will be a great finish as we've got 11 minutes to play in this game. Adam Smith. Again, Stratford doing their best to get over the line. And get over the ball more importantly as well. Mitch O'Neill is there. They're going to move it back towards the traffic. Smith to Dowsing. Loft picked it out in front of him. Over the advantage line go New Plymouth Old Boys. Smith bobbling it. And again Stratford over the ball. But New Plymouth Old Boys still have possession. Slater up towards the 5 metre mark. There are the posts. Rowan Slater. Ball's gone backwards. Smith loses it forward. And they'll play the scrum.
It was starting to look pretty threatening there by New Plymouth Old Boys. Lovely kick in behind by Sean Waite, which added it all, and Mason Millen regathered. And they've built some nice phases off the back of that. But Stratford Eltham will be relieved to have the feed to the scrum, 15 out from their own line.
Now I have a statistic for people that the last time a final went into extra time was in 2001 when Tukapa played Eltham Karponga. It was 25 all, and Tukapa went on to win that game 40-32.
Wow.
Against Eltham Karponga.
Would have been pretty nervous times for the Chook House, because I don't think they'd won a title for a long time from 2001 all the way back to, I think it may have been the 70s even, 69.
69, yeah, wow. So that is a great stat. So we could see the potentially first extra time played since 2001, but we'll get through this one first. 10 minutes to play. Olsen kicks it out. One that needed to find touch too, because Cody Ray was lurking on that wing.
Over into the Cleland's construction site. Remember, Cleland's Club Day, so Cleland's Construction are shouting Taranaki junior rugby players to watch their heroes on Cleland's Club Day at Yarrows Stadium on Friday, August the 4th. The initiative will be a celebration of the local grassroots game and will take place with the Fio playing Tasman and the Yarrows Taranaki Bulls playing Counties Manukau. So make sure you get along. Complimentary general admission tickets are available for junior registered club players 13 and under and will be distributed via junior conveners. Adults, caregivers and club members will be able to secure discounted $10 general admission tickets, adult tickets, and they're usually $15 when using their unique club code. So get along to that Cleland's Club Day.
Williamson goes up with it. New Plymouth Old Boys get the drive going here. Bradley Slater has it at the back. Falls over and gets back up, which he can do because he wasn't tackled. Brody Lilly is on for New Plymouth Old Boys. Cody Ray has a bit of a snipe. Slater's there in support. Dowsing was going to pick it up, but Lilly now. Sean Waite's obviously been subbed off. He's had a really good shift at halfback tonight. Bradley Slater. All of his experience, 39 games for Taranaki, 48 for the Chiefs. Used to these moments. Rowan Slater driven back by Toslin and Cunningham. Lilly looking at his options. Goes to Loft, the number 7 for New Plymouth Old Boys. Really came into form when he was playing for Taranaki Sevens. Mitch O'Neill in position. Again, Cunningham trying to get over the ball. Daniel Waite to Cody Ray, who made that initial break on the far side of the field. Stratford Eltham holding them up. Was a maul called? Ball is available anyway, so it doesn't matter. Lilly to Slater. Up over the advantage line. Lilly again to Williamson, the number 6. They go beyond Loft to Daniel Waite, looking for the inside ball. Adam Smith knocks it on. And again, they'll come back for the scrum. But what I must say is Stratford Eltham's patience on defence has been excellent tonight.
Great patience and discipline from Stratford Eltham there, really holding firm. But that in-ball has been fruitful for Old Boys tonight, so you can see why they went back and looked at Adam Smith, the fullback on the inside. Of course, he's been one of the competition's leading try scorer, the custodian for Old Boys. And just on that occasion, just lifted his head perhaps and lost forward into contact.
Adam Smith, bottom left of your screen, is getting a bit of attention from the physio, Nathan Coombs. A little bit of blood there. He went off earlier with a bit of blood. And a player on the far side, I think it might be Toslin, getting a bit of attention there from Leah Barnard. Stratford Eltham physio. Cody Grayling's on, so a couple of the replacements coming on now for both teams.
He's been in the wars, Adam Smith. He had issues early on with the blood bin, and another one now. So we move into this final 7 minutes. Still could go either way, or we could be heading to extra time, as you say, Will.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great for the game of rugby to go into extra time? I'll pull up the rules if we need them.
The All Blacks won't be too happy. They'll lose a few viewers early on in the match. You might miss the haka.
And rightly so too. I think this is brilliant.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sky will be wondering what's happening down in Taranaki. There's no viewers tonight.
Yeah.
So it looks like Adam Lennox has gone into halfback. Of course, is probably his preferred position,
yeah.
I'd think. But he's equally able at the back in that custodian role too.
Just trying to sort the numbers out here, I think. Cam Stone coming to the sideline, the referee. I think there could be a discrepancy around players coming on and off and so forth. Hanson, if he's gone off as a tactical substitution, then he can come back on. So Lionel Shaw, the sideline manager, talking to Stone about it. And there's been a bit of drama here.
Well, he's got his little marker board out, so he knows what he's doing. It's almost like the school camp. You got a number off. 1, 2, 3. Someone's forgotten their number.
I'll just inquire with my contacts downstairs to find out what the hell is going on.
Confusion reigns.
Yeah.
Not least in this commentary box.
So, again, Stone just saying to Daniel Waite and co around what the rule is. We were meant to have Cam mic'd up, the referee, but A, he hasn't put it on, or B, he hasn't turned it on.
Well, I think Daniel Waite's a bit worried he's going to miss his flight off to Japan.
Yeah, he's going to Auckland tonight. So, I'd love to know what's happening to inform the audience, but we can't, and I'm sure it'll come out in the wash over a few beverages at both club rooms tonight, regardless of the result. But there will be a scrum anyway to Stratford Eltham just inside the 22. And we have 12 all in this game. .73.5 minutes gone on the dot.
Brodie Lilly on at halfback for New Plymouth Old Boys, of course, a member of the New Plymouth Old Boys under 85 kg side, which is competing in the national competition. I think he plays at prop in that format of the match, and we've gone to Golden Oldies, so he could probably do that role here tonight.
It's Golden Oldies. That's really disappointing for the game because scrum's obviously a key part of rugby. So that's put a dampener on the final 7 minutes or so of this match.
Yeah, definitely a bit unfortunate for Old Boys. They have had the ascendancy in that department of the game. So Golden Oldies not favourable for them, although it looks like we've had another walking wounded down there. Is that Mitch O'Neill?
Yeah, Mitch O'Neill's down, and I'm going to point the manager out here. He told him to go down, I saw it.
Oh.
And the crowd will tell you what they think of that.
There's a bit of gamesmanship going on here.
It's Hamish Mitchell who is pointing. And Mitch O'Neill's gone off. But anyway, the line-out will continue. There's Hansen to throw. It's a short line out too, but Kissick goes up with it and distributes to Lennox. McFarlane again bumps off one. A couple of guys to take him down. Lennox back to Olsen with a little kick over the top. Now there's a little bit of space there. It bounces for Ratu. He just loses the ball in contact there. Man, that could have been all over. It's been knocked on, and we'll have a scrum.
Stratford Eltham continue to find space with those little chip kicks from Rocky Olsen. The sort of back three, not sure how deep to stand, and he's proving that sort of repertoire in his kicking game is proving troublesome for New Plymouth Old Boys.
So, the second uncontested scrum of the evening. Everybody's got to be in. They've got to be binds. Stone, the referee, will go through the crouch bind set process, but I'd never ever think that would have an uncontested scrum in a Premier Grand Final, but that's just the way it's panned out. The number 8 can go off the back too, despite what some people think. Weight slips over, and this one may have gone a little bit too far. Dribbling towards the dead ball line. Nabuka runs it out of the in-goal line, and he spins out of 1 or 2. This is Nabuka. Finds Ratu in support. Kick downfield. Lily's done well there to contain it, as Bailey had to make the tackle there. New Plymouth Old Boys still with ball in hand inside their own half. Dramatic finish to this game. 3.5 minutes to play, and we are locked up at 12 all. Lily. He's back there in position wearing jersey number 20. There's Rowan Slater as the chants come up from the Stratford Eltham faithful. They come away to this near side to Porkai, who's back on the field as well. Waite to Smith. Number 19 is Campbell Moore for Stratford Eltham. Masters rolling out, makes the ball available, and the ball's gone backwards from Josh Dowsing, so play continues to carry on, and then there's a knock on. A couple there involved too, so Stratford Eltham will get it back, and they're crying out for a deliberate knock on, but I think it went forward first before Stratford Eltham picked it up.
I think he's okay, but it was nearly one of those moments because the hand did go out. I always find it such a tough law, that one. I think if you look at basketball, for example, that's a good defensive play, and really the attacker should look to offload the ball earlier to avoid that playing out. But it's a rule I do struggle with, but I definitely think he was in the green there, Cody Ray, and no deliberate knockdown.
He'll probably come back for the first infringement anyway, which is the knock on from your Plymouth Old Boys. And, as referees, we've been told to not be as harsh on it. Of course, if there's a line break opportunity or a chance for a try, then there's a situation where you do have to go for a yellow card and potentially penalty try as well. But we've just been told, if it's a genuine attempt to getting the ball, it's just a knock on.
Certainly one of those grey areas in this game that we love, isn't it? That deliberate knockdown.
It certainly sparks a bit of debate.
So 3 minutes to go and potentially extra time lurking behind that. This is where discipline needs to be at the forefront of everyone's mind. It's been a scoreless second half, but certainly not dull.
No, there's been plenty of action happening, and it was 12-all at the break, as you said, Sam. 2 tries each and a couple of missed kicks as well for both teams. I think the kicking's probably let both teams down, as Olsen, who has missed a couple, runs it up towards the 10-metre line. Cunningham now driving forward, and a good run there from the number 8. Quick ball there from Lennox to Kissick. Lennox over the pill again. There's Rowlands, he loses it forward. And a desperate pass under the under the legs, but we'll come back for the first one.
Someone's put soap on the ball.
And both teams just have to calm down a little bit now. I know we're getting late into the game, there's just over a minute to play, but they just have to relax.
He didn't quite have it under his control there, Trent Rowlands, going into contact, and just lost forward. So I don't know, whose position would you rather be? Would you rather have the ball on your own 40 in this sort of circumstance, Will, or be the other way around?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I think territories probably trumps possession for mine in this sort of period of the game.
Yeah, I probably agree. Okay, another uncontested scrum there. Thompson up towards the Stratford Eltham defence. Brodie Lilly is over the ball. And New Plymouth Old Boys show us what they can do with ball in hand late in this game. Millen, who scored last week in the corner as well, runs it up for New Plymouth Old Boys. The ball is loose at the back. Lilly secures it. Stratford Eltham just got to be careful they don't concede the penalty for being a little bit too eager at the breakdown, but it's okay so far. Hawkeye runs up towards the halfway line. Smith going and play halfback. We are over the 80-minute mark, so both teams will be desperate here to get some points on the board. Perry Lawrence up to Rowlands. Lilly to Slater. 2 prominent New Plymouth Old Boys names. They go back to that short side. Dowsing with a standing start. Slate is waiting for it. Jaden Ford is on for New Plymouth Old Boys in the fancy boots. Lawrence. Stratford Eltham making the tackles. And they're counting so far. Phases have been mounting for most of the game. It's been pretty expansive and pretty open. Stone likes a free-flowing game too, and that's what he's giving to both teams here tonight. Slater again as the chants start around the ground. It's been a brilliant final here at Yarrows Stadium, but we cannot separate the two teams after 81 minutes. It's pretty conservative so far. Up towards the 10-metre line. Lilly again, they go beyond Williamson to Lawrence. The patience from the defence. Stratford Eltham doing really well not to fringe up offside. Here's Daniel Waite. Inside ball to Millen. In from the wing he goes. Told to release. And they do so. Do not want to give away a penalty here because this could cost the season. Referee and player on the way. Ball is available though. Lilly goes left, then comes back to Slater on the near side, charging up towards the 22. Lilly's there again to Lawrence. Rowan Slater's there in support. Does the job at the breakdown. Hawkeye. Cunningham puts him to the deck, along with Kissick, I think it was. Dowsing. There's a player over the ball. He gets the penalty. It's Campbell Moore who gets the pats on the back.
Well, great play both sides there. Old Boys putting together a number of phases, and Stratford resolute, disciplined in return. So whatever happens, Will, looks like we're going to extra time, and This one's probably going to go in the annals of all-time great Taranaki Club Rugby finals.
And I will pull up the rules for you so people know.
I'm glad you've got them, Will, because I don't. Oh, there's a bit of confusion as to what happens here. He's got to tap it first, doesn't he?
It looks like they're going to take the line out. As we are up to 83 minutes. They don't care about the All Black Test match, which is 20 minutes away. Got the mice guy going, Sam?
I might have to. No, I mean, this is gripping stuff. It'll be hard to take the eyes off this one. So Stratford Eltham looking to do it in, well, beyond regulation time, but prior to extra time by the looks.
I've got the rules there, and I will explain that if we go down that track. That's a good line out there, but it falls into the hands of Brodie Lilly, who burst out of the line, and Stratford Eltham desperate to get that ball back. Pokai off to Dowsing. Will a drop kick be on the cards here for New Plymouth Old Boys? Not now because they're a bit far away, but when they get a little bit closer to the 22 potentially, some kicking options.
Who's your sharpshooter with the boot, the drop kick, Will?
Daniel Waite, got to be.
Yep.
Got to be. Northcote Hill, I don't think he's actually on at the moment, but he's another one who you'd favour. Lilly again over it. There's Lawrence. The forwards just in these phases here in the last 5 minutes or so have been very busy. Loft. I'd love to know the number of carries in this game here tonight as we are coming up to 84 and a half minutes in this final. It was always going to be a cracker. Here's Daniel Waite to win it for New Plymouth Old Boys. Just away to the left-hand side. We are going to extra time in the final for the first time since 2001.
Oh, you picked it, Will. They went to Daniel Waite. Looked like he got a reasonable connection, but we're going to extra time. These sides cannot be split. Will, run us through the rules.
Right, so in case of a draw at full time in Premier Rugby, 2 10-minute halves of extra time will be played. A 2-minute break will give a 2-minute break will be given to both sides before play restarts. The team that kicked off first to start the game will kick off first for extra time. The teams will play 2 extra halves in the direction they played in normal time, so they'll carry on. And it looks like there's a bit of discussion going on there just to make sure they've got the rules right. If the scoreline is still locked at the completion of extra time, then the team scoring the most tries in the match will win. And if it's the same, then it goes into a whole list of categories, and it goes to the person or the team that's the highest ranked. So New Plymouth Old Boys have the edge at the moment.
Well, there's nothing in it really, is there? These two sides cannot be separated through 85 minutes.
Yeah, it goes into the winner of both rounds and so forth and so on. But New Plymouth Old Boys, yeah, they won those ones as we said at the start.
A great spectacle for the CMK Chartered Accountants Premier Final.
So we've had it all as Cam Stone runs off for a toilet break, I would imagine. Yep.
Nothing to see here.
Snapped. And just running through the point scorers for this game, and starting with New Plymouth Old Boys, it was Mitch O'Neill who kicked things off. In fact, it was Harry Hansen that kicked things off for Stratford Eltham. It was a 7-0 lead. Then it came back to 7-all with a Mitch O'Neill try. And then Brayton Northcote Hill converted that. Daniel Waite got a penalty to another try to get it out to 12-7. Northcote Hill missed the conversion. Daniel Waite missed a penalty. And over at the scoreboard of Stratford Eltham, Olsen missed a penalty kick. McFarlane scored. Olsen missed a conversion, 12 all, so we can't separate the teams. 12 all at half-time as well. Olsen missed a penalty kick early in the second half.
Yep, both teams have had their chances. But it's going to be who can hold their nerve in this extra time period.
And if you are joining us as well, Stratford Eltham ran out of front row replacements, and that is why we're at uncontested scrums, and we will be at uncontested scrums for the remainder of this game. So that just adds a little bit of spark to the CMK Premiership Grand Final.
That's right. Of course, Stratford Eltham merged back in 2017, have never won the competition as a merged entity. Eltham last won the title back in 1991, and Stratford all the way back in 1971. So both these proud clubs have had a fine history in this competition. Stratford having a great run through the 60s where they won 6 titles, and Old Boys having a great run through the 90s where they won 6 titles as well. So, and 6 on the bounce, I think, in that 90s period. So who's going to add one more to that trophy cabinet tonight?
And it will come down to fitness in the last 20 minutes. We are going to extra time in the final 2 10s. And if there's no winner after that, we go into a series of criteria. Number of tries scored, which is the same. Then we go into who beat who during round robin, which is New Plymouth Old Boys. And if it's even, then it's who finished top, which is New Plymouth Old Boys as well. So extra time back underway here at Yarrows Stadium. Matt Kissick to take it down for Stratford Eltham. And it lived up to all expectations, this game, and I did not believe it would go into extra time. I thought there would be a winner after 80 minutes, but we can't separate them. Daniel Waite, who's got a flight to catch tonight, doesn't care. Stabs it down, and there'll be the first line out of extra time.
So both reserves will be sort of key in this extra time period. Fresh legs could prove the difference between these teams. The starting 15s couldn't be separated, so it's going to come back down to the respective reserve benches, I suspect.
Matt Kissick again calling the shots, and he goes up with it. Yeah, straight into the bread basket. And Lennox, who is playing halfback, bangs it downfield to Ray. And it's Olsen on that far side. Ratu. I haven't seen that flare, as you said, Sam, during the game with those back three firing. But I'm sure in the next 20 minutes we could see some opportunities.
That's right. I think look out for Brendan Coop on the reserves bench for Stratford Eltham. He's run some great supporting lines. Of course, did a Mark Ellis and got a 6-foot bag to 6-foot during the round robin against Spotswood United. 6 tries, so he's going to be pretty dangerous, and some fresh legs on the bench will be one to watch for the Old Boys side.
So JJ Porkai to throw. Loft goes up for it, and Adam Smith in the back line up from fullback. There's Thompson over the 10-metre line. New Plymouth Old Boys with front foot ball as we are coming up 2 minutes into the first period of extra time. 2 10s initially. Waite stabbing it through. Cody Ray chasing along with Parker. And as always, mostly the touchline wins the race.
Waite using all his experience there just to play that territory game. Pushing Stratford Eltham deep into their own zone. A couple of nice grubbers early on in this extra time period.
Rowlands in jersey 16 for Stratford Eltham. Harry Hansen is there as well with a bit of cramp at the top right-hand corner of the screen. And they win one. And that's one against the throw for New Plymouth Old Boys. And Porkai has it at the back. Be a cracking finish here tonight. Any points is good. Jaden Ford runs it up. 10 metres out here, New Plymouth Old Boys. It's a switch. They come to this left-hand side. Adam Smith got a pass from Daniel Waite. Lilly is there. Kissick coming up out of the line and puts pressure on New Plymouth Old Boys. Advantage being applied here. This is Lennox with a pass that probably went forward, but they'll come back for the original one.
The defence in their own 22 has been a feature of Stratford Eltham's game tonight. You know, I don't know how many phases they would have defended in their own 22. So Old Boys just haven't quite been able to crack that defensive line of the boys from Stratford.
So Olsen is down, and Harry Hansen is stretching as well, just off camera. And the boys in a bit of a huddle as well.
There's a bit of a hush around the ground at the moment. It's that sort of nervous period where the crowd can feel who strikes that first jab will be critical in this extra time period.
So as we said before, first time we've gone into extra time in a Taranaki final since 2001. Tukopa and Eltham Karponga were 25 all at full time, and Tukopa went on to win that game 40-32.
So it was the Townies on that occasion.
Yep.
Will it be the rural side on this occasion? Time will tell.
So uncontested scrum. Injuries and so forth would have made that one apply, and the kick downfield is into the breadbasket of Jack Parker. Flings it out to Millam. Gets around one. He's pretty elusive, this kid. Out of New Plymouth Boys High School. Lilly again to Daniel Waite. Perry Lawrence is there waiting for it on this near side of the field, right down in front of us here at Yarrows Stadium. And Slater knocks it on. Nabuka picks it up and distributes. Ball is there for Lennox. Olsen will say, let's get it out of here. And that one's out on the full, but they'll probably come back for the scrum. No advantage applied there. And it will be 2.
Olsen continuing to use that variety in his kicking game to good effect. Just going out in the full on that occasion though, but just changing direction, keeping the old boys back 3 honest. I think he's been very good tonight at changing the point of attack, has Rocky Olsen, the number 10 for Stratford Eltham.
He's been like that all season too. And we saw him slot a sideline conversion when Stratford Eltham played Inglewood in the Jubilee match at TT Stadium to spoil a win there for the home team Inglewood, but done well for Stratford Eltham this year. Here's Willem Ratu showing us what he can do on that far side of the field. Tried to throw the ball back in field, and I think it was Bailey that tried to kick it ahead, but it's come off Old Boys.
It was bobbling around near the ball, and the touch judge has adjudicated that it's come off an Old Boys foot, I think.
So Rowlands, as he's done all year, they line up Kissick. Lennox, they go beyond Olsen to McFarlane, who's been busy and scored a try in the first half as well. Up towards the 22, change of direction. Lennox thought about going left, and then Himopo Cunningham called for the ball. The forwards are lined up to that left-hand side. McFarlane again. The Plymouth Old Boys doing well to slow it down there legally. Back to Olsen, thought about a drop kick. Maybe that was on the cards a little bit earlier for New Plymouth Old Boys when they were inside the 22, but couldn't quite do so. There was an attempt there later, and Old Boys get the penalty.
Dowsing strong over the ball there, doing a great job for New Plymouth Old Boys. Known for his ball running abilities, but very good at the breakdown on that occasion. As they go to the experience of Cody Ray to find touch. As we pointed out earlier, he's had plenty of great moments on this ground. Pretty good pair of hands to turn to.
There's the crowd again. jump into chant.
Shades of the Lord's long room, perhaps.
Yeah. Wasn't that great? Williamson up for it. And they get it out into the back line to Daniel Waite. He's got Smith there in support. Slater is on the field for New Plymouth Old Boys, up towards the halfway line. Loft. Stratford Eltham doing well there to attempt to push them back. Brody Lilly reaching in and grabbing it. Pokai. They go to that far side. Daniel Waite kicks downfield. This one's over the top. Is that a 50-22? Let's wait for the decision. Was it carried back or was it inside? Yep. New Plymouth Old Boys get a 50-22. That's the third one, I think, tonight.
That's perhaps a championship type play there from Daniel Waite. Oh, no. Trent Rowland's obviously not so sure on the 50-22 part, but great kick from Daniel Waite. In fact, exceptional. There wasn't much space in behind that left side winger there for Stratford Eltham, and he found it and puts Old Boys hot on attack here as we come to the end of that first period of the extra time mark.
Now they get the drive going here, New Plymouth Old Boys. Can they crack the Stratford Eltham defence? It's held really well for 80 minutes. They're driving towards the line, the ball is there. They've got to be careful not to concede the penalty. This far out, Millam's going in and playing halfback. No, he's going to leave it for Waite. Thompson is there waiting for it, and he gets it. Up towards the line. The forwards now rolling up their sleeves. Slater with a carry. Dowsing is there. They're all going to have a go. Williamson once more. In fact, that was Slater, beg your pardon. Rowan Slater now. They come to this left-hand side. There's Williamson now. Stratford Eltham's defence needs to be patient here. Loft has it with Slater there in support. Still available, is it? No, they'll go for a scrum. So too many players off their feet. Big fan of that team going forward.
Well, Stratford Eltham would have hoped that came a couple of seconds later to get to that half-time break. Or extra time, half-time break.
Yeah.
But Old Boys hot on attack here. Key moment in this game. All off the back of that 50-22 from Daniel Waite, showing his great experience. Been one of the star performers in CMK Club Rugby for the last couple of years now, Daniel Waite. We wish him well as he heads over to Japan on a new venture over there. So great contribution to both Taranaki and Old Boys Rugby.
I think it's going to be a bit of a loss too for Taranaki. 39 games. And hope to be back next year, but we're unsure. Dowsing off the back of the scrum. New Plymouth Old Boys ever so close. Stratford Eltham screaming out for a knock on. They're close. It's Slater who is over. And the celebrations start. We're into extra time, remember. So the kick to come. 17-12.
Yeah, nicely worked there by the Old Boys forwards. All started with that 50-22 from Daniel Waite. They went to the line out. And of course we had the uncontested scrum, and then it was Rowan Slater by the looks, busting over from close range. Good body position. And that defence, which is held firm for Stratford Eltham throughout this match on their own line, finally breaking.
Dowsing's getting a little bit of attention there from Coombs, as it's taken 50 minutes to see another try. Of course, it was all locked up at half-time at 12 all. And Daniel Waite now to potentially add the extras to get it out to a 7-point margin. No one has left this venue.
Now it's seat-gripping stuff, this.
Daniel Waite adds the extras. And we're going to be coming back Oh, in fact, that's the first break. I was wondering what was happening, but that is the first break of extra time.
Yep, so we have the 2-minute changeover. Hang with us, still 10 minutes of play here at Yarrows Stadium. Don't jump off to Mount Smart just yet.
So the score is 19-12 as we have ticked over the first half of extra time.
Get the My Sky on record.
Yep. Just might do that now, actually.
So Old Boys with the upper hand going into this final stanza of extra time. Stratford Eltham, I suspect, will look to that back three. The likes of Nabuka, Cope, Lennox, Ratu. There's plenty of match winners in there to try and... The thing is, they have to win, right? Because
they got to maintain this.
A draw will get Old Boys across the line.
Yeah, well, so Stratford Eltham really got to score twice, don't they? Because, yeah, as you say, a draw after this will edge Old Boys ahead, and it's pretty cruel.
That conversion then particularly important, made by Waite just moments ago.
What do you think's been said here? I think everything's probably been said. Just keep working hard, keep going.
I'd say the cliches would be in full force in that huddle. Well, do the basics well, keep the discipline up.
And while we have a break here at Yarrows Stadium, catch the Central Roofing Taranaki Field and Yarrows Taranaki Bulls in action at Yarrows Stadium this year during the 2023 Bunnings MPC and Whara Palmer Cup with a Taranaki Rugby season membership. General admission for an adult is $40, or for an adult plus a child and the Matahio family zone is $90. You can head to trfu.co.nz to secure your season membership. So the final 10 minutes of the season.
These two teams on their feet. All that fitness training over the year will pay dividends in this final stanza. Of course, relaying the earlier results. Division 2, Kaitiki triumphing 18-10 over Partea. Division 1, Southern beating New Plymouth Old Boys 23-11. And in the Colts, Inglewood winning that match in a tight one, 20-13 over Stratford Eltham.
As the final period of extra time is underway, Mason Millam runs it up. Old Boys with a 19-12 advantage. A Rowan Slater try and a conversion edged them ahead. Stratford Eltham will need to score twice, and that's a big ask in a match like this. Hamopo Cunningham fields a high ball and a deep one too. Lennox is over the ball to Grayling. Formerly out of Tukopper and been in Stratford Eltham for a number of seasons now. Come off the bench wearing jersey number 20. Lennox, he goes beyond Grayling to Olsen. To Chase Bailey, experience of the back reserve. A little bit isolated here is Adam Lennox, but Slater couldn't quite get over the ball. Jaden Ford has a crack to get over it, and here comes the cavalry from New Plymouth Old Boys. They've done well to turn that one over. Loft picks it up at the back. Daniel Waite's slippery. Dew might be starting to take effect now. Kicks it downfield. It bounces for Olsen. Tried to skin them round the outside. Ball bobbling away all over the place. Lennox secures it for Stratford Eltham. Ratu goes in and plays halfback from the wing. Hansen. Don't think I've ever seen a hooker kick before, but he's put a bit of pressure there on Jack Parker. Didn't go into touch. Here's Smith. Went off with a blood bin twice. It breaks. Adam Smith, the fullback. May have been a high tackle. It looked worse than it actually did. Porkai. Lilly. Botcha. Hamish Walker brings him to ground. Here's Parker, kick over the top. They're playing really freely now. Great work from Willem Ratu to secure it for the number 2 ranked seeds. Stratford Eltham, Cunningham going in and grabbing it. Grayling to take it up to the 22. Lennox kicks it over the top to Parker. Thought about kicking, I think, and then says, no, we'll have a run into Lennox, and he deals with him. Puts him on the ground. But they've still got possession here, Old Boys. Here's Smith now. Stabs it ahead for Ray, and it goes out. It may have come off Stratford Eltham, it has.
These two teams running themselves to a standstill here. We've got into this final stanza of play, and it's ball's pretty much been in play that full sort of 3-minute period. So plenty of phases being put together. Both teams on their feet.
And the crowd probably on their feet too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And they could really nail it here, New Plymouth Old Boys. And they'll get the drive going here just inside the 22. It hasn't disappointed us, this final. And Porkai has it. And they're moving the ball up, New Plymouth Old Boys. Ever so close to the line. That's the 5, and they get the turnover as well. As we have around 7 minutes to play in the second part of extra time here tonight in the CMK Premiership Grand Final.
Yep, Old Boys deep in Stratford Eltham's territory here. Playing at the right end of the park.
So a scrum here, still uncontested, of course. Physio attending to, I think it might be Joel Williamson, hobbles up. And we have a scrum set here. So a chance for Stratford Eltham to either clear or they might express themselves here and run it up. It's an own play. Lennox kicks downfield. And this one is in touch with a chase there, a good chase there from the Booker on the far side.
Yeah, it's a good clearance there from Adam Lennox. Stratford Eltham looking to get into Old Boys territory. Time, of course, not their friend.
A couple of substitutions as well. Jackson Morgan coming back on, but again, I think they're just checking. I think Joel Williamson's coming off, but Stone's just checking with his sideline crew again about this. I think we're okay.
Real workmanlike performance that from Joel Williamson, the blindside flanker for Old Boys. Been strong all day.
So will be Porkai to throw. Morgan grabs it. And here is Adam Smith busting through. He's got Cody Ray in support, does well to control the ball. Here's the championship. It's Michael Loft in for the try.
Yep, Adam Smith made the initial break. Cody Ray juggling it behind his back, and he finds that man, Michael Loft, probably one of the form players of the competition all year, so fitting that he all but seals this championship. As we see it bobbled behind the back from Cody Ray, but he got it back in control just in time to find Michael Loft, who dives over in jubilation.
Well, there's still 5 minutes to play, but it will be a really tough ask for Stratford Eltham to come back. Daniel Waite with the conversion to come. And they'll just take their time here. I know there's still time limit on the conversion, but he'll use that 90 seconds or so. And an applause there from the crowd. They've been very vocal tonight, and both teams have been very well supported. Quite difficult to determine you know, who the crowd are going for. Maybe an even split, let's call it that way.
That's probably fair, yeah. Great spectacle for club rugby. I get the feeling that the neutral fan might have been wearing red and black, if anything, today, Will. Given that nostalgic element, of course, having not won as a merged entity and a long time between drinks, as Waite puts that one through the post.
Really pushes it out to 26 points to 12. The Michael Loft try has been converted. And Stratford Eltham not wasting any time. 3 minutes to play in extra time. Old Boys at the moment with the edge. It was 12 all at half-time. It was 12 all at full-time. And in the second period of extra time, it is 26 points to 12 to New Plymouth Old Boys with 3 to go. Quick line out there from Rowlands to Grayling. Lennox over the ball. And I think they might go again, actually.
And in fact, an Old Boys feed.
Yeah. So they may have had the wrong throwing team. Trent Rowlands tried to throw in quickly earlier. But Old Boys again with possession up towards the halfway line goes Adam Smith. Set up that one before. And it's been knocked on at the back though. And I don't think New Plymouth Old Boys will be worried about that. And a few handbags too. It's actually been a very, very clean game of rugby. We have seen a yellow card with Lennox. He was put in the bin in the first half, but other than that, seen no foul play.
Yeah, no malice in that yellow card, just one that sort of a high tackle which slipped up. The two teams' respective forward packs just having a chat over the garden fence there.
Again, uncontested scrub. And there is number 22, Brendan Coop, who scored number of tries this year. As we know, he's really been a breakthrough player from the Stratford Eltham side with that equal record down on his home ground. And they're just going to play freely here as Cody Grayling runs up with it. There's a short side here for Lennox over the top. And it's gone out, so it was a slight chase there, but it's out on the full. And we have under a minute to play here. New Plymouth Old Boys sitting on 17 titles at the moment. A win will get them equal with Tukopper with 18. And their last title came in 2018 against Coastal at TET Stadium. And great to have finals back here at Yarrows Stadium for the first time since 2019, when Spotswood United lifted the trophy. And up and under to Rocky Olsen. As there's about 10 seconds to play. He distributes to Lennox, firing it away to Coop. Great ball, but it's been lost here, I think. No, it's all gone backwards. So Stratford Eltham will carry on playing. Another one's gone backwards, and it was more. As we tick over 100 minutes of this final. Ratu, will he have the final say? Going down the touchline. Ratu, no one's there in support though. Old Boys getting over the ball, they should win it. Yeah, and they do. Bradley Slater with the turnover. And that'll be it for New Plymouth Old Boys.
Yep, Old Boys deserved work winners. They've been the front runners all season, unbeaten. It's been an excellent final though. Stratford Eltham, you know, amazing finalists. They too have had a fine season and can be proud of their efforts. But as they kick it out here, Old Boys deserved victors.
Well, a season of an unbeaten record from New Plymouth Old Boys. They had to win this one at Yarrows Stadium. It was hard for them though, and they beat Stratford Eltham in extra time by 26 points to 12 to claim their 18th title in Premier Rugby.
Yeah, they had to dig deep, deeper than they've done all season here today, Old Boys. But you can see there the jubilation on the faces, and it'll be a big night at the White House tonight. But a word for Stratford Eltham, a fine performance, since the two clubs merged back in 2017, they've been on a steady growth trajectory. And, you know, you've got to feel for them because they were defiant and valiant today, particularly in defence in their own 22.
It's been excellent and played in really good spirits as well. And looks like it's the Division 1 side for New Plymouth Old Boys making their way onto the field as well. Just give them a little few extra high fives and so forth. As we almost wrap up here at Yarrows Stadium, a chance to look at some of the highlights from the match.
Stratford Eltham, who scored first, Harry Hansen, the man from Otago. A strong ball-running hooker. He was one of the pick of the players on the park for Melbourne today, scoring their first try. Old Boys hit back with their forwards, and that was probably where they had the upper hand all match. And it was going over from close range. That was Mitch O'Neill, and they put two on the bounce in that first half. Great tight play from the New Plymouth Old Boys unit, and they went out here, back on the inside, and it was Daniel Waite, the experienced player, finishing that one off. Stratford Eltham again, keeping it tight. McFarlane, who was barnstorming with ball in hand all day. It was from 5 metres out, but a few years down the track that one might become 50 with an extra 0, but he was too hard to stop from there. And we were all even, 12 all after normal time, and into the first stanza of extra time here. Rowan Slater using great body position to barnstorm his way over from close range, and that was probably the key moment. Daniel Waite in the lead up to that, getting a crucial 50-22, and then a late try, Adam Smith making a nice break as he's done all season. Cody Ray doing a little alley-oop behind the back, and Michael Loft, one of the players of the season, running away with it in the headgear, and that was the moment to take Old Boys to a 26-12 lead, Will.
Yeah, 4 tries to 2, and it had everything, didn't it? 12 all at half-time, 12 all at full-time. We went into extra time, and New Plymouth Old Boys winning this game with 4 tries to 2 in the end to pick up their 18th title, and equal to their rivals across town, Tukopper as well, in terms of titles.
Yeah, that's an interesting little touch. I'm sure the Tukopper faithful won't be too happy with that one, but no, fantastic final. Old Boys deserved winners, and Stratford Eltham, yeah, strong performance. Could have gone either way going into extra time there, but Old Boys just proving a little bit stronger in the end.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a privilege having you on Taranaki Rugby's YouTube channel here. It's been a marvellous day here with 4 finals, all on the number 1 field. But the only one that matters here for us, which we covered, it's been a cracker. New Plymouth Old Boys win the championship by 26 points to 12 over Stratford Eltham. Thanks so much for joining us.
This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.